always say to people that the best of you is always in you, but the completion of you is going to visit you. All right, people. So we thought that we should do part 2 for necessary nimbleness. Gabriel, I see you. And we have continued to journey along this path. And after the last session, I felt like there is a part of it I needed to close with, right? I needed to give some insight on the journey, right? And you will not appreciate this session if you don't also go back. If you miss the part 1 for necessary nimbleness, please go for it. Yes, I see you from Kigali, Rwanda. I see you. I see everybody. Go out of your way. Cyprus, I see you from Cyprus. You know, I see you. Go out of your way to ensure, Dr. NJ, keep going, to ensure that you listen to part 1 so that you can make the connection. But there is some emphasis that I really want to make, that I realize that the conversation in part 1 might be incomplete as far as usability is concerned if we don't go into this conversation. So here we go. This is the relevance of having this talk. The relevance is to pretty much shift to the omissions, what I consider to be omissions as far as transferability and usability of the thoughts in part 1 are. So let's go. I'm also going to try today to entertain some questions. Please, team at the back end, I have some incredible people at the back end: Great Darling, Emmanuel, Wisdom, IBK, Lynn, Clement, Charles. You guys keep going. Thank you for your work at the back. But please try to track when we get to question and answers. If we have time for it, you have to begin to invent how we are going to take some questions from the back on all the platforms, so that we just ensure the practicality of this. Okay, so let's go, people. I realize that as you journey understanding some of the things I shared about discernment and mystery, and mastery. Remember, I did mention very strongly the path of discernment and mastery as the critical instruments for necessary nimbleness. What I did essentially in part 1 was to explain what that necessary nimbleness is. I went out of my way to also explain the why of that, the urgency that has created that. I spoke to the critical thoughts around the next 5 years, the next 6 years, from 2025 all the way to 2030, and the type of implications we're going to be dealing with. As a matter of fact, the changes we're going to see. I started out by listing some key, changes here and there that we are going to experience, and how nobody is prepared for it. And people need to be in a mold that allows them to spot change at a moment's notice, right? By the time we get to December 31st night, right? By the time we get to that night, there will be victims, there will be casualties, there will be slaves, but there will be champions. There will be champions. The champions of 2030 are the people we are trying to navigate right now, right? There will be observers. There will be mere participants who are just going to be around to consume, right? They are not going to be present enough to produce, right? And the people who cannot produce at a level, whether tangibly or intangibly, whether it's a theory, a philosophy, a system, a structure, a product, a service, an ideology, it doesn't matter what it is, a platform, an instrument, a tool, whatever it is. Those who can produce are the people that we are talking to. Consumers are victims all day. Never forget that. Consumers are, now everybody consumes, but if your role essentially is just about making enough, working enough, making enough to consume, whether you are working for someone or you are in business, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is not trying to flog those who are working for somebody and say, oh, those who are doing business are safe. It doesn't matter. Whether you are doing business or you are working for someone, as long as your critical goal is to make enough money so that you can buy and you can, do all those kind of things and consume, you are going to be one of a victim, a casualty, or a slave, right? That is the reality. I'm sorry if that does not land well. I right now in my mind, in less than a second, I try to see if that was properly put together. If it didn't land well with you, please bear with me, but I can't find any other way to say it, right? The only way to exercise difference, within the next 5 years is to understand the type of visionary responsibility that is foisted on you. And you have to be very intentional to pretty much go out of your way to not just gain understanding, but to stand with the application of the understanding that you have gained critically, right? That is how the future will be navigated. And these things are clear. If it's going to rain, you see the storm, you see the wind, you know it's going to rain, right? So if it's going to, tomorrow can be predicted on many levels. If it's going to be awesome, sorry, I had to charge this. If it's going to be awesome tomorrow, we are going to know. And part of how we are going to know essentially is the type of trends that we are seeing today and the type of positioning that we have to give today, right? So get ready for that. That is the essence of this conversation, pretty much. That is the essence of this conversation. Where do I plug this? Please forgive me. I'm trying to. Oof. Does it work? No. Oh my God. Where do I plug this? Oh my God. Please bear with me. I need to move this a bit backward. Too many. I shouldn't be doing this on live. Please. Okay. I think it works now. I think it should be fine now. No, it's not fine. What is keeping it from being fine? I hate this. It's keeping it from being fine. Phew. Okay, it should be fine now. It's still not fine. Man, guys, it seems we're going to run into some trouble because my computer is down, is very low. I'm trying to plug it in and it's not coming up. I don't know what else to do. Okay, let me try it somewhere else. Please bear with me. Oh my God. Okay, I'm now. You can't believe I've not plugged it. Oh my God, I'm so scattered. Welcome to my stupidity. Okay. Finally, we were able to get around that. Oh, I'm sure you are all mad right now to say, why is this man torturing us like this? Please forgive me for the torture. All right. All right, people. What did I just took you guys through? Please bear with me. All right. We'll edit these things, please. Back end, we're going to edit these things to make it comfortable for everybody. All right. So I was talking about what? Victim and all of that. So it doesn't matter whether you are in business. Please, I'm not trying to make a case for people in business and trying to make a case against those who are not in business, who are working for somebody. I've said it repeatedly. It doesn't matter whether you are working for someone or whether you are in business. If you are a human being and you are an adult, you are either doing something on your own or you are supporting somebody doing something. All right. There are only two people in the world: those who start something and those who work with those who start something. You are either a Moses or you are an Aaron. If you are a Moses, you are called to the world. If you are an Aaron, you are called to a Moses, right? And so you can be a billionaire working for someone. I cannot overemphasize that. It's not true that you cannot be rich working for someone. That is the lie that some people told very well, very, very well. And part of the implication was a lot of people believed it. And a lot of those who believed it, essentially ran with it for years. That was just a capitalist agenda of a few to sell a lot of materials on many levels and to push, exceptionalism at a level that, worked for them. In practical terms, you can be rich working for somebody. That's not part of this discourse, but it's a necessary conversation so that you are not interpreting the sense of urgency and the sense of mission that I'm communicating here for trying to resign from your company or trying to leave your work or something, right? That is not what I'm saying. Because in a lot of motivational circles and a lot of success seminars, when people start hearing stuff like this, the people who work for people, employees, begin to feel guilty. And what they want to begin to do immediately is to begin to articulate their liberation in quote from where they are working. That's not what I'm saying. Roberto Goizueta is the first staff of a company to become a billionaire, not a millionaire, a billionaire. He became a billionaire as a staff, as a hired hand. Is in the world record as the first staff of a company to make it all the way to billionaire status. So the idea of generating wealth is not about working for yourself or working for somebody. It's about the intelligence of making money work for you, wherever you get that money from, whether it's in inheritance or you get it from doing business or you get it as a salary or as a commission. It doesn't matter where you get the money from. The ability to multiply that money and by making it work for you as opposed to you working for that money is the whole idea of wealth generation, right? So, or even generational wealth in itself is to keep money working for you. That does not necessarily come from you starting a company. If you start a business yourself and you are making tons of money and you don't know how to make money work for you, you will still lose all those money. And I've studied very successful people, particularly in Africa. I've studied a lot of successful people in my country where I come from, Nigeria. I've studied so many people who were very rich. By the time they died, they left a lot of money in the bank, a lot of cash in the bank. They left a lot of real estate, right? But the business that brought that money died with them, essentially, died with them, right? And when what you are leaving behind is cash, those coming after will spend it. If it is real estate, they will sell everything, right? If it doesn't matter what you are leaving behind, everything will go as long as the people taking it over don't have the intelligence and the character to do that. But most importantly, if we did not leave a system behind, right? So systems, structures managed by human intelligence is what creates wealth. And if you make a salary and you are able to make that money work for you, you will be rich. So don't believe all of those ideas that you can be rich working for somebody. You may not be rich by how much money you earn, whether you earn it as business income, business revenue, or you earn it as a salary working for someone. Right? It doesn't matter where you are making the money from, whether you made it from an inheritance, it doesn't matter. As long as the money is not working for you, you don't have the intelligence to send that money on errand, listen, you will still be powerless. It's only a matter of time, or your legacy will. One of them will be powerless, either you or your legacy or both, right? So that is not what I'm saying. I thought it's important that I clear that out first, so that nobody's making any assumption. And then the next thing, I don't believe people should resign their jobs. I think some people are called to do jobs. I think some people are called to work. I mean, if all of us have to start a business, who's going to work for anybody, right? Somebody has to work for somebody. It's not about who you are working for. People need to take off the pressure that they have to be on their own. They have to be your own boss. Somebody said stuff like, I can't say sir to somebody till the day I die. Really? You can't be that small. You will say sir till the day you die. If you don't say it to a customer, you will say it to your boss. If you are not saying it to your boss, you say it to your father-in-law. You are going to say it to your landlord or to somebody. You are going to say sir till the day you die. You are never going to be liberated from the virtue of saying sir to anybody. So that's not why you should not work for somebody. It's not because you hate the idea of saying sir. Then you are small, arrogant, and in need of some form of treatment or therapy in your insecurity and low self-esteem. You can't say you don't want to say sir to people. That's why you want to start a business. Some people say, well, I can't do 9 to 5 forever. I can't do 9 to 5 forever. Well, in business, it's 9 to 9. It's not 9 to 5. You see, when you close at 5 as a worker, somebody is still thinking of that company. While you are sleeping, somebody is thinking, somebody is working. When you start your business, you are that guy. You are working 9 to 9. So that's not a good reason to say you're not going to work for someone. You see what I'm saying? So we could go on and on. A lot of the reasons that people give to say, oh, I'm not going to work for somebody. Oh, I don't want to work for somebody. No. You can work for somebody. Guess what? You can not just work for somebody. You can work for somebody so well. You can be a multi-millionaire working for somebody. You have people like Jack Welch. You have people like Eric Smith, right? Who was CEO for Pepsi, became CEO for Google, did so well. When he was resigning for Google, he was given $100 million, guys. So you've been in business for how long? You've been in business for how long? 20 years? 30 years? Have you made $100 million? Somebody, a staff, was given $100 million. How much business are you going to do to make that? So come on. It's not about you starting a business or you working for somebody. It's about role playing and the intelligence to send the rewards of your role playing on errand. When you are able to make the rewards to work for you, you can be a billionaire, you can be a millionaire, and the first staff, there are quite a number of them after him. A number of them were in Microsoft, a number of them were in Google, a number of them were in Facebook, all over the world, right? But the first human being who was a staff of a company to become a billionaire was Roberto Goizueta. There is a Roberto Goizueta Business School here in the United States, Goizueta, Goizueta, Roberto, Roberto, Roberto Goizueta, okay? So having cleared that now, so even if you don't understand what I want to say yet or what I'm saying, you now know what I'm not saying. I'm not asking you to begin to question the decency or the nobility of your exertions as an employee. I'm not asking you to feel comfortable just because you have started a business. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying in business, employer or employee, in business or as a worker, It doesn't matter whether you run a nonprofit or you work for one. It doesn't matter whether you are a poet, a singer, an architect, a dancer, a fashion designer. It doesn't matter what you do, a tech professional. It doesn't matter what you do, except you understand the type of understanding that I share in necessary nimbleness. You will be around, you will be disrupted, you will take your small place as a slave, you will take your small place as as a casualty or as a victim. If you understand the type of thoughts that I shared there and zeroing in on discernment, your ability to discern, in other words, your ability to receive beyond the limits of tangibility, the material, in other words, beyond academics, beyond education, beyond observation, beyond your environment, being able to understand that something bigger than you is always on the horizon and seeking residence, human residence, right? The Bible says that God is always looking for someone to stand in the gap. Ideas are always looking for human beings to give it residency. Ideas are not human creations. Ideas are visitations from the future. Ideas are visitations from the future. Ideas, dreams, and all of those, right? Visions, whatever words you use, adjectives you use to qualify them, those are all instruments that represent the future. The future is represented by, the future is a representation of the Creator. And the future is represented by dreams and ideas, visions. That is the logo, the face, the identity of the future, right? And those dreams themselves are represented by imaginations, by thoughts, right? By thoughts, by imaginations. And those themselves are represented by your impulses, your impulses, right? And you need to pay attention to all of these things. Today is not a day to break that down. I did teach enough of that in part 1, and you need to go to that. But beyond discernment, which is essentially the ability to capture necessity beyond what is seen, beyond the obvious, right? You can't indulge in what is working, no matter how grand. You can't be so comfortable with what is working and forget it's going to change. Ask Google, ask Yahoo, ask Kodak, ask these companies. And let me shock you, even today as I speak to you, people like Bill Gates are endangered, right? Microsoft as an organization is endangered because there are new kids on the block, right? You have people like Elon on the block. You have Ant-Man, who OpenAI gentleman. You have new thinkers, new tech leaders coming into the space and disrupting the space. See what came on with DeepSeek, right? Even though I think all that noise was necessary to promote the brand DeepSeek, and everybody fell for it, including the Americans, but essentially, that in itself is new kids on the block. Google is endangered now. Why? They came to the AI party late, right? And what is search engines? In the future, there's nothing called a powerful independent experience known as search engines. No, the AI, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, they will do everything search engines do and more. In fact, they are already doing everything that search engines do and more. So Google itself is fighting. So when you Google something now, you see their own AI coming to the party and trying to work with you and give you details that you didn't even ask for. All of that happening at the same time, right? It is a battle for space, right? A lot of the people, maybe by 2030, you wouldn't even see Facebook anymore. I have reasons for that. I have reasons to suspect that Facebook may not survive, the humility of Mark Zuckerberg from nowhere and participating and showing up and identifying with some ideologies, on different levels. It's not just because of virtue or altruistic. It's because of necessity. Facebook is interpreting social behavior. They are trying to do what we are talking about, necessary nimbleness. They are being nimble enough to look at the future and say, hey, will people be behaving like this? Will social media be functioning like this? And the answer they are getting right now is no. Is no. So the possibility that the colossal Facebook that you see today may be no more by 2031 or 2032 or 2030 or 2035 is huge. You know, the necessity of even moving from the village of Facebook to the city, you know, or the nation called Meta in itself is necessary to build a brand parallel to that which you know as Facebook. I can go on and on, but, you know, don't take my word for it. You know, just understand that these things are out there, and a lot of experiences are happening there, and big players are endangered. Bigger play, you know. I mean, if somebody like Bill Gates have to watch his back, and Mark Zuckerberg has to watch his back, and everybody at that level will have to watch their backs, right? And even ChatGPT was pinched by DeepSeek from nowhere. And listen, you don't even know what is brewing right now. A lot of people that are master who can code to any level, but have a lot of money, are not trying to do that anymore. Maybe coding engineers themselves are even endangered right now. So what they are doing is, who can we buy? Who can we buy? If we find the talent, buy it. Don't try to go code it. Just buy it, get him on your team, partner with it, fund it, do whatever you have to do, right? So collaborations, you know, I've always said to people, when the going gets tough, the tough cannot keep going, because he's assuming that he's going right and that he knows the way. It can just be missing like that. When the going gets tough, the tough seeks collaboration, and that is the new world that we are dealing with right now. And so for you, you need to begin to understand that people with more power than you, people with more influence than you, are endangered as we navigate the future. They are threatened critically as we navigate the future. You want to, you know, get off any assumption or any form of hubris that suggests to you that you are safe. Listen, people who go to church are not necessarily safe. You can't ignore what is being shared. You can't ignore the weight of knowledge that is available right now, and all that God is giving to mankind, and all that we have to sit in. You see what I'm saying? So let me let you know, first of all, that the moment you start your journey, right, particularly right now, I don't want you to just pay attention to the technicalities of the conversation. I shared a lot of that last week. Part of mastery, I want to zero in more on the idea of mastery. If I have some time, I will still share some things on discernment. But on that mastery, I spoke about talents. I spoke about organizing your talent and your gifting into a skill. I define skill as organized talent and gifting, recognizable, transferable, and rewardable within the system. So the moment your skill, what you can do is recognizable. I give an example of project management. Some people are talented project managers. On their own, they can put any event together. They can organize any system. They can organize any concert. They can do anything naturally. But it is a gift. If you then get a project management certification, first of all, you have brought organized knowledge. You have brought science and protocol into your natural gift. In other words, you've polished it into something refined, right? But more than that, you have also allowed that your natural gifting to be recognizable in the system, because no company or no organization giving you a contract or employing you or giving you a business is going to just respect you because you know how to do it naturally. No. But if you represent what you know how to do naturally with a project management certification, essentially what you are saying is that, you can see me now. You can see me now. So with that, you are visible. That means you are recognizable. You are transferable. They can now move you around different organizations, different skills, different geographies, different countries. You are now transferable, and then you are rewardable. Once you pass the test of recognition, you pass the test of transferability, automatically you have passed the test of rewardability. Nothing will be rewarded at the highest level if it fails the test of transferability and recognizability. Now, if you find a delicacy like pizza, the reason why pizza is such a massive market is because it can be seen from anywhere in the world. Then it can be moved, made from anywhere in the world, and it can be paid for by anyone, anywhere in the world. That is the positioning of pizza. The reason why, say, amala in western part of Nigeria or kenke in Accra, Ghana, West Africa, is not rewardable at that level, and it's not that much of a big market. It's not because of his taste. It's not because of his look. It's not because of his packaging. It's because it has not passed the test of recognizability. Once you see it, you know what it is. If you see amala, you can even call it poo. You can call it anything, right? It's just black, sitting dark there. You don't know what it is, right? It fails the test of recognizability on that level. Then it fails the test of visibility because of that, because no, they can't see it anywhere in the world as valuable for them. And then it's not transferable. It can't be moved from country to country. It's a perishable item right now in the format that it is. It can't be made everywhere. And so it cannot be rewarded from everywhere because you can't move it, zero shelf life and all of that. So that is why it is not a big market yet. Anything that passed the test of recognizability, all the big brands, call it Toyota, call it Pepsi, call it Coca-Cola, call it McDonald's, call it Ford, call it Porsche, call it anything, call it Lacoste, call it Gucci, anything that is being paid for all over the world, call it Samsung, call it Apple, anything that you find to be a global big market, it has passed the test of recognizability. It has passed the test of transferability. And that is why it automatically passed the test of global rewardability. So it doesn't matter what you are trying to do. Once it fails that test, you are jumping in a local environment, you will soon fade, become something global will come and take your place there. So the whole world is coming to the same point, whether we like it or not. I told you on part one, the whole world is coming to Africa, for example. When they come, they are not coming to meet everybody. They are coming to meet the masters of their field. The masters of their field, guys. The masters of their field. And once you understand that, is why you have to move beyond talent and gifting to skill. You have to graduate from the limits of skill to competence. You have to beat competence to prove expertise, and you have to graduate from expertise to prove authority. And there's one thing higher, right? But I don't talk about it because I don't even think it's useful to most people. If I was talking to somebody like Elon Musk, maybe I would mention that, because he can apply that because it's there already, first of all. And if it's not there, oh my God, we just lost stream. Okay, I thought it just disappeared. So, and if it's not there, you know, it has the capacity to get there immediately. You see what I'm saying? So, but by the time you become an authority, you know, the highest level of expression will find you. But you see, once you start your journey now, what I want to share with you now is very personal. What I want to share with you now, I learned in the trenches. Then I took it as a research point. I wanted to take it beyond my experience so that I can recommend it for others to follow, because principles are universal. Experiences are peculiar, are very peculiar. And that is why a lot of people go out there to teach, but what they are teaching is the peculiarity of experiences. Because it worked for you does not mean it can work for everybody. So once it's working for you, you still have to go test it. A lot of what we do today, we struggle with them because it was the result of somebody else. It worked for somebody else who did not take time to prove if that is a principle reproducible by everybody else. Instead of that, he put out a book, put out a conference, start talking about what worked for him. It still worked for a few people. It didn't work for most people. A lot of what we call, I don't want to talk about, maybe I shouldn't talk about that, but there's a lot of things out there, even in the religious space, that have been recommended for people that were peculiar experiences of individuals who then put it out, right? Just because you put $60 into something doesn't mean that next week, or you gave somebody $60 to pay a school fees or something, and then in 60 days you got, 1,000 times that, $60,000. Well, that's your testimony. That's not necessarily going to happen for everybody. If you build a principle on that, what you are doing is you are making a peculiar experience into a reproducible experience for everybody. Once you call something a principle, it is a reproducible experience for anyone, regardless of geography, regardless of age, regardless of status. Hard work is a principle. Anyone who works hard will get a dimension of result. Maybe not the ultimate, but in all labor, there's profit of some sort and in some level. That's a principle. So you have to be careful not to share peculiar experiences as principles for everybody to follow. You really cannot teach principle, and miss you really cannot teach the peculiarity of an experience and compromise the principle. The key thing to always focus on is the principle. The principle of a thing is the reproducible factor. So in every experience, you must dimension it down to the principle. And then that principle is what you recommend. Like the Red Sea parted into two. The drama of the miracle of the Red Sea is that the Red Sea parted physically. The principle is that a people moved, saved by God, from a place of impossibility to possibility. Now, once you understand that principle, it is the principle you can convert into a product or a service. So every time a plane takes off, it's the same principle. You are still moving from a point of impossibility to possibility, because you couldn't have jogged over the Red Sea, but a plane can fly over it, right? So it's always have to come down to principle. In extending knowledge, you have to understand that context is the first level. It's not the end of it. There's premise of the conversation. There's context of the conversation. There's premise of the conversation. There is the principle in the conversation. There is the dispensation of the conversation and the palliative that manages that dispensation, right? So I'm saying all of that to say that what I want to begin to share now are very personal experiences. And what I did was to take them through a test and do a lot of research to really ask myself, are these things true for people anywhere and for people everywhere? My conclusion, yes. So what I want to talk about now is a journey you are going to experience. The problem is, and why this is important, is that while you begin to journey through this, the popular narratives out there and the voice in your own mind as well is going to attempt to lie to you that you don't know what you are doing, like you are stupid, or like you are foolish, or that you are not smart, or that you are not enough, or that you are not effective. And it's going to tell you all sorts. Personally, I've come to lose confidence in all of those things. I say to people, opportunity once lost can always be regained. Deeper than that, even ideas like laziness, I don't think it's practical. I've not found, I'm 54 now. I'm yet to find a lazy person. And listen, I've interviewed people, I've asked questions, probed across the world in different continents. I'm yet to find a lazy person. Because if you call somebody lazy, he has to be a lazy bone, meaning he can't do anything. Once somebody can play soccer for 10 hours, but cannot study physics for 1 minute, he's not a lazy person. It's a clash of priority. It's a clash of interest. Therefore, a clash of priority, but a clash of interest at the core. So if he's lazy, he can't play soccer, he can't do physics. If he can play soccer, he can't do physics, or he can do physics, he doesn't enjoy soccer, he's not a slacker, it's not missing anything. It's just a clash of interest. And a lot of people that are labeled as lazy people are just people who have a different type of interest. They have a completely different level of interest, and they are judged by what they have no interest in. and what they have no interest in, unfortunately, pass the test of popularity. That is what the society is promoting and rewarding. And so those guys are probably outliers, or, different, or ahead of their time, pretty much. And they are not getting the type of sentiments that will give them the necessary support to allow them to stand in their difference, to be able to express their ultimate uniqueness, right? Instead of that, their environment persecutes them for it, whether it is within a family or within a neighborhood or a community, or somehow they are persecuted for it, and they pay a lot, right? They pay a lot, they pay a lot for that, and they are not able to do much at all because they are being persecuted on a level they did not plan for, on a level they did not envisage, on a level they need the cooperation of so many people, and they are not getting it. You see what I'm saying? And they are not getting it. And that becomes a problem on many levels. That pretty much becomes a problem on many levels. So what do we do with that? The type of thinking that is required is to zone out of that. You know how you can zoom into something and zoom out of something? Is to completely zoom out of that, and begin to consider a completely different experience, that transcends, the limits of popular understanding of things. So if I pick laziness, I pick, even the test of ideas. Is an idea good enough, or is it not good enough? There's nothing like that. If there's something like that, how do somebody like Warren Buffett buy bad businesses, buy a bad failed business, and turn it around? So the same business, they didn't change what they were selling. They just changed who is selling it and how they are selling it. So all along, it wasn't the business. All along, it wasn't the idea. It's the how of the idea, and the human beings, the actors behind the idea. That is why the idea is not working. So I don't believe that any idea, whatever visits your mind, is legitimate. However, it is legitimate on different universes. And in the universe that you are in, it is legitimate. In the universe somebody else is in, it is not legitimate. It fails the test of meaning or practicality. That person is not wrong for rejecting that idea, because what you are selling, what you are pushing, does not exist in its own context. You see what I'm saying? So it's a war of context. Meanwhile, context is the beginning of conversation. Like I said, there's premise of conversation, there's principle of conversation, there's dispensation of conversation, and essentially the timing of it, right? And there is palliative that holds that timing down. You see, there's no way you will have suggested, internet to the guys in the Garden of Eden. There's no way you will have suggested artificial intelligence to Moses in the wilderness, because in the wilderness with Moses and in Bible days, any act of mystery is greeted with devotion. Any act of mystery, once it's mysterious, they greet it with devotion. So if you show up to the wilderness with a camera, and all of them can see yesterday, and you show them, look at you yesterday, they worship you instantly, because that is all they understand. That is all they understand. You see what I'm saying? So it pretty much cannot work. It just can't work, because it's not situated within the context of the people experiencing that genius in that moment. So as far as I'm concerned, no matter how awesome your idea is, you will be blessed to have the believers of that idea. You will be blessed to have people who appreciate that idea, who honor that idea enough to invest their time into it, to put their energy and their resources into it. A lot of times you won't have such sentiments. A lot of times you won't enjoy such acceptance. You won't enjoy such believability, especially if you are not blessed with a noble background, right? You are not born by a millionaire. You were not given birth to by some socially correct, power force. You are a no-name boy or a no-name girl struggling with a no-name parent in a no-name environment, went to a no-name school, hung out with no-name friends. Most likely, you are going to be judged for your genius, because the genius, you see, this is what you must understand about genius. And difference. When you are given something that should lift the world, automatically you have been given a class of people to roll with. So that is like putting a rabbit amongst lions. What are they going to see? Food. They don't care what value he has. They're just going to eat it, right? You are a perfect solution in a wrong environment. So a lot of times when you are born poor, I always say to people, the burden of poverty is that it's better when there is really, no tractionable journey written in your script. Oh my God! Please stay with me. Don't just stay with me on this conversation. So you are born into a family, and you are designed to do something, but you are not designed to, change the world, right? Not everybody will do that. Let's be clear. Not everybody's going to build Microsoft. Everybody's not going to build Yahoo. Everybody is born to do something valuable, but the scale of the imprint is different. Now, the reward in heaven is equal. If you are called to empower 2 people, or you are called to empower 1 million people, right? You will be judged by the 2 people you are called to, whether you empower them or not. And the other person will be judged by the 1 million people is called to, whether he empowered them or not. You see what I'm saying? Now, the reward for both of you will still be gold medal. Gold medal for the guy called to 2 people, gold medal for the guy called to 1 million people, right? Because to whom much is given, a lot is expected, because a lot was given to the person as well. Because it's going to reach 1 million people, he was given 500,000 to reach them. The guy who is sent to 2 people, to whom little is given, little is expected as well. So we are all judged by the expectation of our documented journey. You see what I'm saying? What is written of you determines what you are judged by, depending how long you live by, right? So I say to people, if I send you to London from Dallas to get me a pen, and I send you to Houston to get me the same pen, right? I send you to Dallas to get the pen. I send you to Houston to get the same pen. I send somebody else to London. 3 people. One was sent to the next 2 streets away in Dallas. The other one was sent 1 hour flight away to Houston. Another one was sent 8-hour flight away to London, right? And all of them have to go get a pen. The time I give them will be different. The guy who is in Dallas, I'll give him 4 hours tops, over too much, to go get a pen. The guy in Houston, I'll give him 3 days tops to go get a pen. The guy in going to London, I'll give him 1 month tops to go get a pen. All of them have given too much already. But I'll not give any one of them 2 years or 1 year to go get a pen, because of where I send them to. I'm going to give each of them, I'll give according to the distance. Hey, you take 3 days because you are going to Dallas. Hey, you take 1 week because you are going to Houston and coming back. And then you take 1 month because you are going to London and coming back. I've already given all of you too much. But then the money I will give you as well, I'll give you enough for your hotel. The guy who is going just for 4 hours, he will not get money for hotel. The guy who is going for 1 week in Houston, I'm going to give him hotel for 1 week. Hotel accommodation for 1 week. The guy who is going to London, I'll give him hotel accommodation for 1 month. So what determines how much I gave you and what determines how long I gave you is the assignment, the expectation tied to the assignment, and the efforts and investment of time, energy tied to the assignment. So how long you will live, how much you will have in your life is all tied to the story written of you, the script documented of you, right? It is written of you. Our stories are already written. Believe me, I don't have time to break that down. Maybe later, but the idea is you just don't say, I'm going to live for 200 years. No, listen, if your assignment doesn't require that, no matter who is praying for you, you are not going to live for 300 years. You know, they say that the greatest resource you have is time, energy. It's true, breath. Those are priceless. They are the most complex things you have, the most sensitive things you have, except that you don't know how much of it you have. Time is the most important thing you have, but you don't know how much of it you have. Energy is the most important thing you have, but you don't know how much of it you have. Breath is your critical asset in life. Number one, you have to breathe to use time. You have to breathe to use energy. Breath is the most critical thing you have, but you don't know how long you have it. You see, that's why guardedness, precision engineering is key, so that you can eliminate waste and distraction, because you don't know how long you have it. So you just can't sit down and say, I have time. You have time, yeah, but you don't know how much of it you have. So that is supposed to push you at a level and bring some intensity, a sense of mission, a sense of thoroughness, and a sense of urgency. Three, a sense of mission, a sense of thoroughness. Thoroughness is precision. Then a sense of urgency. Those three must come into your life. Stay with me. This is very important. Must come into your life, right? Now, when they come into your life, you honor them, not because you don't know what you have, but because you really don't know how long you have what you have. So therefore, you got to respond to that burden of time by doing the needful while you can. The misery, however, is a lot of people have gone ahead of you who are going to attempt to document their way to do things. The oppression is, if you are not careful, you are going to be following the peculiar experiences of people and what they have documented, and miss the principle and the uniqueness of your own difference, the flavor of your own difference, the aroma of your own difference, the weight of the difference of your own movement. Everyone must understand this. You are never going to be recognized. Your ideas will not be recognized nor rewarded. You will not be recognized nor rewarded for your similarities with people. People always say, PK, why are you so, why are you so big on, rebellion, staying on your own? As long as I'm not breaking the law, as long as I'm not being disrespectful, as long as I'm not offending God, I'm not displeasing God, I have the freedom to stand in the authority of my difference. I don't want to sound like anyone. I don't want to look like anyone. I don't want to talk like anyone. I want to learn from everybody, but enough to produce me, my sound, because the universe is designed to respond to my sound. To my sound. The universe is looking for me, for the unique journey I'm called to have. It's not looking for you for my journey. It's looking for you for your journey. So the nutrients of my journey are for me. And the people who will answer to my sound are already there. Everything is built with malfunction when we go out of design. And so one of the first things you must represent is there are 3 stages of your life. The first stage is the identity stage. Now, it's a complex stage because that is where you build your low self-esteem. That is where you build all your insecurities. That is where you build your victim mentality. That's where you build your fear. Follow those 4 things. That's where you build your come on now. Oh, so many rush of ideas coming to me. That's where you build your insecurities. That's where you build your low self-esteem. That's where you build your victim mentality. And that's where you build your fear. Fear is not a natural experience in that sense. Now, there is a dimension of response that I call the necessity of threat. That's another conversation. The necessity of threat, or the blessing of pain. Those things are there. So they can produce something that looks like fear, but it's not fear. It is necessary caution to give you the alertness to initiate your action. So that's not fear. Fear is inaction, right? The inability or refusal, unpreparedness to take action in the face of a situation. So the perplexing experience that keeps you out of your best self in the face of a situation, right? Not being able to demonstrate tranquility in the face of adversity. That is the fear that you learn in your identity stage. Most of the time, this thing is not by age. You can be 59 and be in this stage. You can be 12 and be in this stage. You can be 72 and be in this stage. This stage is the stage of adventure. It's a stage where your identity is being formed, but your identity is not being formed by you or on your terms. It's being formed by your interaction with people, with human beings. Some of them don't like you. Some of them hate you. Some of them want to kill you. Some of them want to bless you. Some of them want to support you. All kinds of people out there. As you navigate them, depending on how many rejections you experience and your interpretation of those rejections, they are going to condition you into a particular low self-esteem. They are going to condition you, or they are going to attempt to condition you into a low self-esteem. They are going to attempt to install, right, useless, unusable insecurity inside of you that is usable to defeat you, not to help you, right? Then they are going to attempt to build your victim mentality, where you begin to blame everybody for everything but yourself. You have a sense of expectation. You have entitled mentality. You have a victim mentality where you feel sorry for everything and blame your history for everything, right? You understand, you see, when people say take responsibility, they are not asking you to own your problem. They are not trying to say, oh, I own the problem. No, taking responsibility is understanding your problem enough to take new actions contrary to it. That is taking responsibility. You are not taking responsibility through acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is not taking responsibility. When you take responsibility, it's beyond acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is the beginning. Recognition is the beginning. Clarity is the beginning. But the ultimate of it is that you are now taking new action that can trump the narrative that you have acknowledged. That's when you have taken responsibility. Now, but your victim mentality will be built in that season, and then your fear, because we learn our fear. Every human being is born fearless. I hope you know. Every human being on the face of the earth, the 8 billion people living in the world today, were all born fearless. They learned their fear. All of us learned our fear, right? And as you journey, you are trying to, this is a phase where you define your identity. Some people never leave this phase. They are jailed by their insecurities. They are jailed by their fear. They are jailed by their low self-esteem, and they are jailed by their victim mentality. So they begin to see the world. It becomes their new glasses. They see the world from that perspective. That becomes their RAS. They build neural paths in their brain that tell them that this is normal. This is your reality. This is how you are. This is not how you are. This is what you have become, right? So they accept all of that, and they begin to see, hear, interpret, judge, make decisions based on that. You see, but these are not installations of nature. These are the installations of their human experiences with other human beings, right? That has conditioned them into that type of thinking. And this is the stage where a lot is happening. You are trying to figure out who you are. That's what I mean by the journey of identity. This is where you are supposed to figure out who you are. I think by design, this phase should be between age 0 and age, 18, 19, 21, max 25. I'm going to give you the context for that later. It should be within that age. Normally, every human being should have been done with figuring out who you are by the time you are 25, max. But for most people, we don't. And let me be honest with you, I did not either. I didn't understand who I was fully. I began to understand it at 26. And what gave me that privilege was that I gave my life to Christ. And that was where the journey began for me. For you, it will be different context, it will be different reality. Good parenting might have helped you. A good school might have helped you. A good friend or some uncle or the books you were exposed to or some movie you saw. I don't know what the influence will have been, could have helped you. But for me, I didn't find those succor, right? I didn't have the right parenting. I had good, honorable parents, but they didn't have the clarity to prepare me for my unique journey. They didn't have it. And I don't judge them for it. They didn't just have it, unfortunately. But my journey, in a polygamous home was essentially destructive, right? In a boarding house, essentially destructive. I didn't belong in those environments, but I went there. It produced who I am today. Without them, I would be another human being. That human being may be better than this, may not be better than this, may even be dead. Who knows? I will never find out what type of human being I would have been if I didn't have those experiences. But I did have them, and here I am. Now, I didn't have the privilege of finding out what I'm about and who I am, because the key question in that season essentially is, what are you about and what are you bringing to the world? What are you designed to bring to the world? I didn't figure out that question until I was, first of all, it began. I started having some sparks of it when I was 26. Now, let me tell you this. At every level, I was sure this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. It changed. This is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. It changed. This is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. It changed. You won't believe what I want to say now. And this might get you really mad. Now, for some of you, you see, what saved me, if I had had the misfortune of starting a church, for example, right? If I started a church, it would have been difficult for me to accept my evolution and my elevations, because I will have been stuck. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying pastors are stuck. I'm not saying pastors don't know who they are. They know who they are. They figure themselves out. I'm talking me. I'm describing me. So stay with me. And I'm using this to communicate a principle. So for me, I didn't figure out who I was. But you see, if I had had the misfortune, that's why I always tell people, ability to preach is not proof of pastoring. I can preach. I can preach anywhere. I headline church conferences. I speak side by side senior pastors across the world, right? But I'm not a pastor, right? I'm not built to be a general overseer. I'm a minister. I'm a teacher. I'm an apostle. I'm an evangelist. I am a futurist. I'm a prophet in that sense, but I'm not a pastor. One thing I am not is I'm not a pastor, right? Now, understand that if I had started a church, it would have been difficult for me to be able to navigate the changes that visited my journey, that continue to elevate me into higher versions of myself, better versions of myself, right? Better focus, better engagement, right? I've started many things. There was a time I was taking a seminar, Zero to Hero seminars across Nigeria. Zero seminars, Zero to Hero, There are people on this call who sat in Zero to Hero seminars in different campuses. I went through practically every Nigerian university. I traveled around Nigeria. I'm talking about 1996, 97, 98, 99. I was moving, 98, I was moving Zero to Hero across campuses, right? 99, 2000, right? I was moving around. And where is Zero to Hero now? When I was doing it, you would think I would do it forever. I thought I would do it forever. I thought this is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I've stopped Zero to Hero. There was a time I was doing ideas going global across different cities, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos, I stopped moving it. If I tell you, hey, my God, if I tell you how many things I have started, I have stopped. You see, I am giving you this conversation because I don't want anything to block your next 5 years. Because these are the things that settle you, block you, condition you, eliminate you, log you off your unique path. Log you off your unique path. And I made up my mind, you know what? I'm going to have this conversation today. I'm going to have this conversation today. No matter what, people need this conversation. People need it. People need it. Now, this is a conversation I've documented in a book I'm writing. But I said, when am I going to finish this book? You know what? People need to get this right. So as you move, understand that, I started so many things. One of the lessons I learned there is you can't be loyal to an idea and forget it's going to change. You see, and I'm so grateful to God because so many good, amazing people did their best to settle me into pastoring. They meant the best for me. But somehow, something in me could not accept it. And for some reason, I never did it. And looking back now, I'm grateful I didn't, because if I had done it, there are things I'm doing now I will not be able to do. Or I will have to upset so many people. I will have to begin to see, how do I do this? I will have to begin to do a lot of things and offend a large number of people, even the congregation, if I started a church, to be able to navigate the type of things I'm navigating right now. You see what I'm saying? So the idea is, in that phase, which some people never leave, and you have to leave that state, because if you don't leave that phase, you will never do anything big in your life. You will never. You'll be okay. You will have money in the bank. You will dress up. You will go out. You will come back. You will drive a good car, 2, 3, change it every 3, 4 years. You will travel abroad. You'll be fine. But your essence, your real journey that you are born for, the unique contribution you are created to make in this life, the human lives that are tied to you, who will never fly until you fly, you might never make that ultimate connection. So it's a phase you have to understand and navigate with skill. So this is what I bring to you. As you navigate through this phase, right? Human beings are going to reject you. They're going to tell you no. They're going to try to tell you what you are not and what you are. They're going to define your limits. They're going to try to tell you all kinds of things. Everything is going to impact on only 2 things: figuring out who you are and understanding what you brought here uniquely for everybody in the world, right? That's what they are impacting on. You have to understand that. And so stay nimble. How do you stay nimble? Never settle. Never settle. Listen to everybody, but come here and follow this, your spirit. Listen to everybody. Take everything on board. Expand your war room. I said that. Expand your wisdom table. Get ideas, suggestions, advice on your wisdom table. That is why people come to me to say, PK, tell me what to do. This or this. I say, no, I can't tell you what to do. People do that, but I don't do that. I will tell you what I think you should do. You will still go and take your decision what you should do. Now, whatever you decide, I will support you. Even if you decide to do what I didn't ask you to do, if you go against what I asked you to do, I will still support you, because I may be wrong. And what I'm sharing with you is not, I'm not God. I'm telling you in my experience, in what I know and what I'm interpreting, I think you should do this. Even when I'm sure I'm right, I must respect your right to be wrong. I must respect your right to be wrong. I didn't know this for a very long time. But when I understood it, I fought people for what they wanted to do, because I knew they were wrong. I fought them, but now I don't fight anymore. Whatever you want to do, I'll give you. I hold you my advice. I will never be quiet. I hold you my advice, but I'm not going to insist on my advice. And whatever decision you take, I'm going to support you with all my mind, within my capacity. I will support you. If it works, great. I'm happy you didn't follow my idea. If it fails, great too. I will still support you. I'm not going to say, but I told you not to go there. No. I respect that you stood on your own decisiveness, the authority of your own unique expression. You must always stand on that. It will bring you correctness. It will bring you error. But ultimately, everything will work together for your good, as long as you are taking those decisions in the integrity of your heart. Having searched it, it's not because of any ambition. You just believe before God, you prayed, this is what I should do. Do it. God honors faith. Even if the object of it end up wrong, that you believed him for a path and you honestly thought that is what he wants you to do, God honors that. And you must have the freedom and the confidence to stand on the authority of the uniqueness of your journey. You see what I'm saying? Now, understand this. When you begin to move now, like I said, people are going to keep coming. Now, you have not figured out who you are. People are telling you it's tough. At times you feel, hey, maybe I should just follow this, because you've not figured it out. Let me be honest with you now. I did not fully understood what I'm about, fully, without any iota of doubt, until somewhere around 2015. What about that? I'm 54 now, so check my age then. Somewhere around 2015. And guess what? In the last, between 2018 and now, oh my God, between 2018 now and now, the clarity I have about my unique journey is incredible. You know, I'm a late bloomer. I don't know why God wrote my story that way. I don't know even if it's even God that wrote it that way. But for some reason, I don't start early. For some reason, I make a lot of mistake in starting anything, right? And for some reason, it brings a lot of delay into my life. Whether it's childbearing, I married late, I had a child late. Everybody knows that I had a child in my 40s. I got a degree late after 12 years. You know, again, everything comes to me late. I don't know why. For some reason, I've not been blessed with the intelligence to get it right, sharp. But you know what I found though? When I finally start, the speed I get is incredible. Boom! I just go, boom! And then I do it in 2 years what some people have been trying to do for 20 years. Boom, boom, boom. People say, where has he been? Where has he been? Where has he been? Somebody say, call me the other day and say, where have you been? It's like, I've never heard about you before. I said, I'm in a different universe now. You are in that universe now. So you are seeing me. Period. I have no explanation for you, right? And let me now tell you this. The last 2 years, oh my God, the last 2 years of my life. You see, let me say that, you know, what I'm doing now, where I am now, as sure as I am that I'm talking to you right now, that's how clear it is. Zero, there's no percentage of doubt that what I'm doing now is what I should be doing. There's not 1% of doubt. It's 110%. You have no idea how many things I have walked away from. In the last 2 years, I've closed down some things. You will soon see. Even the name of my business was Kenneth Shorian Research and Ideas. Last year, it became Feedback from the Future organization for many reasons. In understanding my unique journey, I said, no, this is not it. You see, so many things have shifted. I wasn't on YouTube forever. Now I'm on YouTube. You see, I didn't follow the rules. I'm somebody you admire. I'm somebody you want to be like. I have more capacity than a lot of people. I have more relevance than a lot of people. I have more money than a lot of people. But guess what? At the time, somebody said, what if you have started YouTube 10 years ago? Maybe this will have happened. Maybe, but I did not. This is where I am. I don't sit down looking back at where the doer of deed could have done better. I don't think like that. I can't afford to think like that, because if I do, I am disempowering my unique path, and I'm empowering your own excesses and nuances. I'm empowering your own experience to define my own reality. I can't afford to do that. What is the point of asking myself, why didn't I start 10 years ago? So when I finish asking, will I go back to 10 years ago and start it? No, so I have no. It's like you write an exam, you submitted the exam, you are done with the exam. You are not bringing the question paper. Did I answer right? You are just trying to go into the future too early to comfort yourself and find, discounts for your possible error. It's unnecessary. The result is going to come out anyway. You see, I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. What's the point? No matter how much you analyze the question paper, you're just giving yourself misery. Now, if you are going to fail that exam, you're not going to find out very early that you have failed. So your torture begins very early. You see what I'm saying? I don't think like that. I don't think like that. It is rash. In fact, one scripture says, it is a snare to say it is holy and then make an inquiry. You see, it doesn't mean that it is holy when you said it is holy, but it is a snare to say so and then be making inquiry, be second guessing yourself. That's what it means. It is a snare to move and be second guessing yourself in an environment you can no longer edit. You can't edit it. The past is the past. It cannot be edited. So there's nothing you are going to do. You are not going to drag me into the past to seek where I could have done better. I don't do that. I move forward, except to the extent that I am auditing to find actions that will impact on my new actions. To find thoughts and ideas that will impact on my new actions. But if you want to take me to the past to imagine, this is how it could have been, PK, with all your knowledge. If you have started YouTube 10 years ago, by now, you will have 500,000 followers. Come on. So when I finished all of that, is it going to give me the followers? No. What's going to give me the followers? Starting now and moving forward. That's all I think about. Whatever you are bringing from the past, show me how it impacts on now. If you can't, shut up and get out, please. That is how I think. You see what I'm saying? There are so many things that you keep pushing and you keep moving and you keep stretching as life stretches you. You have to be comfortable in that nimbleness. That's part of nimbleness. You are responding to change at a moment's notice. That is part of nimbleness. You are responding to change at a moment's notice. Never, never in your life allow anybody to define anything for you away from what I just told you. You see? So as you navigate, all of that's going to begin to happen. But right now, at 54, somebody said, wow, 54. I said, 54? I'm young. I have, listen, it's not about how long I live. If it's about how long I live, Jesus was an embarrassment since he lived for 33 years. It's deeper than that. What can I do? Okay, I should have learned what I know now at 40. Why am I learning it now? Oh, you should have learned it at 35. Yeah, I should have learned it at 35, but I didn't. When did I learn it? Now. So what do I do? Flog myself by going back to history to go and fix that? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ask myself, newness is always within reach. Newness is always within reach. And moment of recognition in your clock is the acceptable time of recognition. You cannot judge yourself by the season of recognition of somebody else. The time you recognize yours is not the time I'm going to recognize mine, right? There are people who worked for Colonel Sanders at Kentucky Fried Chicken who have discovered themselves since age 24. Colonel Sanders did not discover himself until he was 60-something before he started Kentucky Fried Chicken and he went around the world. Now, there are people who work for him who have discovered themselves 30 years before. They still work for him. It didn't matter. They didn't say, oh, no, you can't hire me. Why? You discovered yourself late. I discovered myself years ago. You can't hire me. They work there humbly. So it's not about all of that. You see, you have only one clock. Guess what? It's yours, and it's yours alone. The moment you judge yourself by anybody's clock, you are making a mistake. Now, your clock is defined by the things you get right and the things you get wrong. That is why all things work together for good for those who love God. Because if you can get it right every time, you don't need that scripture. That scripture is not for those who get it right every time. That scripture is an arrangement for your imperfection. So your mistakes are anticipated by God and they are prepared for. You can't be afraid to make them. And when you have made them, if you have already made them and you cannot edit them, you better take it as the anchor of your journey and move on. So that is how you are going to protect yourself. That is why you are going to protect yourself against the nudgings of society, finger of society, tongue of society, expectation of society. Society includes your parents, your friends, your neighborhoods, the movies you see, the social media things you are browsing and you are experiencing, what your friends are doing, achievements around you. The future is going to, society is going to breed all of that. And what they are trying to do, I've told you 4 things. They are installing your low self-esteem. They are installing your fear. They are installing your sense of entitlement, your victim mentality, right? And they are installing your insecurities. That's what they are installing. So the more you can block and focus on the lessons, block the condemnations, block the accusations, refuse to take responsibility for any error or gap in your life or any rejection in your life that has zero impact on the new action you are taking. He doesn't, even if you killed 200 people yesterday, nobody should take you there and say, look at you, you kill people. Ah, wow, look at it. No. How does it impact on my going forward? That's what they meant by there's therefore now no condemnation. You see, you must understand these things. Otherwise, you will be sorry. Oh, look at me. You are changing. You are becoming a weaker version of yourself. You are becoming a terribly weaker version of yourself. You are becoming low in your thinking. You are becoming sorry in your objectives, in your sense of objectivity, in your sense of mission, your sense of thoroughness, your sense of urgency. You become incapable of taking responsibility, which is moving forward and not just acknowledgement. So I need to go, but let me round that phase up by saying that is a key phase. Now, that phase, I call it adventure capital. That is when everything is hitting you. You have to zero in on what you are doing. What you are doing will add up. Now, this is the intelligence. This is intelligence. Whatever your hands finds to do, as long as you don't break the law, as long as you are not displeasing God, as long as you are not violating your own meaning, your own peace, as long as you are not upsetting society by breaking the laws of society, as long as you have prayed and sincerely in your heart, this is what you believe God wants you to do. It's not that you are forming it. It's not that because you like, this is what you actually sincerely believe. You don't have to be right. So let me make the biggest statement that's going to upset you. Decisiveness is superior to right decision. And decisiveness cannot be tamed by wrong decision. Decisiveness made sincerely has place for redemption in the future, or place for progression in the future. Right or wrong, as long as it is sincere and decisive, there is redemption or progress. It's not that you got it right and so progress, or you got it wrong, there's redemption. You will see amount to progress. You will not be afraid to make a decision, and so you are being guarded, and in the name of being guarded, you are chasing perfection, trying to be sure, and you will never move. Any type of positioning that renders you inactive or immobile in the name of chasing solution is not God and it's not right. Keep moving. Keep moving. You know what you do? It keeps your confidence. That's how you can come boldly to the throne of grace. You keep moving. You just keep moving. You just keep moving. Learn, focus on the lesson. As long as what you are looking into the past for has impact on your new actions, then it makes sense. Pick the lesson and move. If it has no impact, you are just indulging in silly remorse, in weak sympathy. You will get the sympathy of everybody. You are still on one spot. You'll be a sorry sight, weak, tired, and incapable of navigating anything. You will get handouts, and men will ride on your head in the name of supporting you. They'll keep you small, keep you in their cage and in their own premises. You will be weak and powerless in the universe. Believe me. So I'll keep that there. Let's block that. So as you navigate, now get this wisdom. As you navigate, faithfulness in little. This is what you do. Anything you find. When I was, do you know I cooked before? Take this as my 54th birthday gift to you. I cooked. I started a company called Tuto. There are people on this call who worked in that company. I was making barbecue. I was one of the first people who was making barbecues in parties and making salads in parties and serving it as outdoor catering. I was one of the early, before Saito. Believe me, in Nigeria, we started that. We were doing it all over the place. And when we were doing it, we branded it. We did it in banks. We catered for companies. There are people in the world today, real estate moguls, professionals, medical doctors, entrepreneurs who worked in that company, who served food in that company as students. And what did we do though? I did it. When I was doing it, if you talk to me, I'll tell you I'm going to run the biggest restaurant in Paris. I'm going to run the biggest restaurant in New York. I'm going to have franchise. I had the biggest dream of it. I stopped it. He wasn't. Can you imagine if all I'm doing is cooking? But guess what? When I'm 60, by God's grace, when I'm 60, I'm going to be cooking in my house once a month, my own recipes. I'm going to be cooking and I'm going to invite people to come and eat. They will pay. The payment will be devoted to charity. Cooking is one of my hobbies that I'm going to, at a level, not cooking everything, not cooking beans or cooking, soup. No. I have about 26 different salad recipes. I have about 18 different barbecue recipes. I have about 12 different barbecue accompaniments that I created. Trita Rara, Trita Mix, all kinds of things I've invented over the years when I was doing this thing, and I kept them. So at a particular, when I settle down and I settle some things and put some legacy things in place by God's grace, that's going to be one of my part-time efforts. Once a month, I will open a restaurant. A restaurant open only once a month, and it's going to be in my house. And people will come, eat, have fun. I will teach, I will share, I will take questions and answers, spiritual food, soul food, body food. Woo! So it's not a waste. I didn't waste it. But I stopped it because I was just supposed to do it for a season, survive that season, earn in that season, take care of responsibilities in that season. But I was called to nurture people with real food, not body food. My calling, something in me was about food, but I couldn't put my hands on it. At that time, I thought it was physical food. But later, as I journeyed on, I realized, oh, it's soul food. It's soul food. It's soul food. And guess what? After a while, I found out it's spiritual food. And that's how I find out, no, it's soul food and spiritual food. So what do I serve right now? Soul food and spiritual food. Because not all soul food is spiritual food. And not every spiritual food is soul food, right? I go to churches at times, I hear the pastor, and it's not teaching spiritual food. It's teaching soul food, soul. There's a message to the soul, there's a message to the spirit, and there's a message to both, right? But let me leave that. So I moved on. I moved on out of church. It was a registered company. We had board, we had everything. We were, but it was a phase. So this is the idea I'm selling to you. Before that, I did refuse collection. I had a company called Wheat Gap. Wheat Gap. You know what Wheat Gap is? With God, all things are possible. Wheat Gap. WITGAP. Wheat Gap. With God, all things are possible. There are people alive, my confidant, fellow rebel, fellow traveler, fellow. When I say rebel, please, I'm not talking of rebellion, disrespecting people. I'm talking of the right to reject, any narrative that is contrary to the uniqueness of your design. That's what I mean by rebellion, creative rebellion. Fellow traveler, fellow soldier, Barrister Taiwo Akilami, living and working out of Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Both of us served in that organization together. He was my partner, a gentleman that we lost to life. He didn't die, but went too low. I won't mention his name, but went too low. He didn't follow some of the ideas, right, that we were having at the time. As we moved on, he didn't move on. And so he dropped off along the line. Now he's a security guard somewhere. We've tried our best to lift him, but he doesn't have the clarity to stay where we are. So we've accepted it. We'll give him handouts as much as we can. He can't stay. He can't stay because he dropped the curriculum, right? But this chap, Barrister, is a soldier, Google lawyer, UNICEF lawyer, UN, British Council. Think about it. I mean, all over the world. Charles Wright lawyer, my personal lawyer and attorney, confident, trusted ally, and believe it, we did Wheat Gap together. We did Wheat Gap together, carrying fumigation machine. We did that restaurant, that food company together as well. And we did so many things together, including STN. I moved on. I've done many things. So it's easy to see us today and say, I want to touch you. I say, touch me, yeah, but respect my journey. I carry on my body. I say to people, beware of generals without scars. Beware. So I don't want you to give me any honor that discounts the weight of my journey. And when I look at you as a protege and you are following me as a mentee, I want to see your capacity to accept your own journey. That's why I say it every time. Accept your journey. Embrace your story. Trust the future. I said it in part 1 of this message. I said it in part 1. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. Accept your journey. Keep moving. You will be beaten, defeated, you will fall, you will make mistakes, but all of them are all embedded nutrients for a newness you are coming into. I say it every time. Today's mistake, as big and unplanned as it is, right, is designed to save you from a bigger one tomorrow. You made that mistake because today is not a deal. You can afford that mistake today. Something bigger is coming you can't afford to miss. That is what this mistake is preparing you for. The errors of today are the necessary signals to prepare you for the bliss you can't afford to miss, so that when that one comes, you will not make the mistake. So you're making a mistake now. Every mistake today is an allowance to prepare you for something bigger. You are being saved from a bigger mistake you can't afford to make. Today's mistake is your covering from is your covering that saves you from a bigger mistake you can't afford to make tomorrow. So today's mistake save you from a bigger one tomorrow, which you can't afford to miss. Any mistake you make now, you can afford it. Believe me, any mistake you make now, you can afford it, guys. You can afford it. If you can't afford it, life will not put you there. God will not put you. It will not tempt you. Not that it tempts anybody, but it will not allow you to get into any situation you cannot handle. It will not make a demand on you. Life will not demand from you where he has not invested in you. God doesn't do that. So if you are making the mistake, you can afford the mistake, but don't tolerate the mistake, because anything you are willing to tolerate will never change. Anything you are willing to tolerate will never change. You see what I'm saying? So accept your journey, embrace your story, trust the future. How do you do that? Whatever your hands finds to do, do it. Not with a part of your might, with all of your might. Don't do it like there's something better tomorrow, so let me just conserve my energy now. Whether you are working for somebody or you are working for yourself, it doesn't matter. Live every moment like your last. Put everything you have into it. Don't conserve anything. Don't conserve time. Don't conserve your network. Don't conserve your energy. Put everything on the line. Pour every part of you into it. That's what they call faithfulness in little. You know what that does? It brings more. It brings more. So people say, I want to find my purpose. I want to go pray somewhere. I say, you don't need to find it. You find your purpose by being faithful where you are. Be faithful where you are. It will graduate you to a higher version of yourself. The only secured way. Somebody said, well, what makes you happy? I'll give you a clue. What makes you infuriated? What makes you sad? Look, all of that are good statements, but where are they documented? I tell you, the only thing documented in scripture. Everybody, let me go and pray and get a vision. Those are peculiar experiences. I told you, you can't teach peculiarity. You teach principle. The principle in scripture to finding your purpose, the principle recommended by God is faithfulness in little brings more. Whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your might. Do it and keep doing it. It brings more. If you are faithful in that which is another man, somebody will give you your own. Yours is coming too. If you sow, you will reap. So keep doing it. As long as you keep moving, keep investing time, energy, focus, keep putting everything you have into it, it will lead you to your ultimate place. It is only the one who refuses to move. It is the inactive and the indolent that get stuck. Adventure capital keeps you moving and keeps you moving. Right? Keeps you moving and keeps you moving. And as long as you keep moving, you will get to that place. Now, that's a phase. Now, you can be in this phase for 20 years. You can be there for 50 years. You can be there for the rest of your life. What would take you out of this place is the last thing I just said. Faithfulness in little. Pour your best into it. You will form. All of a sudden, at 32, to be clear to you. What I'm realizing at 54, you will realize it at 22, at 31. Some of you at 69. Some of you at 52. Some of you at 43. Some of you at 38. But you will come to that clarity where all your doubts are now completely doubted. You are now in a state of clarity that you know that this is who I am and this is what I need to be doing. As I speak to you today, I'm completely figured out by me. The journey I have walked have introduced me to me. I'm done with the curriculum. I tell people, I'm not babysitting myself anymore. I'm done. I now see who I am, what I'm about. I've made mistakes making this journey. I've made emotional mistakes, friendships, even in my marriage, in my business, in my work, in my friendships, in my parenting. I've made all kinds of mistakes. There's no rewind. There's no rewind button. So you're not going to take me back there to go. There's no rewind. There's only play forward. That's all we have. That's all. Now, you play life at the right time. You press forward. Speed is not in your hand. Play is what you have. Be a player. Keep playing. Keep playing. I'm not saying joking. I'm saying keep moving. Keep taking action. You don't control the forward button. The forward button is in the hand of God. The moment you qualify on a stage, boom, you are forwarded. Speed is God's reward for being faithful where you are, no matter the mistakes of that stage. Every human being, faithful, doing the best they can, not the best recommended by people, the best they can. When you start is when you start. Stay on it. Keep moving. Keep moving. At some point, speed will visit you. And in a lifetime, I'm convinced that at least speed will visit you 7 times in your journey. At least. It will be more than that for many people. Speed will visit you. That way, the 5 years you thought you lost, in 5 months, you will get everything back. The 7 years you thought you lost to somebody who raped you or you went to jail, in 7 months, you get it back. The 17 years you thought you lost, in 17 days, you will get it back. Speed will visit you. But you must stay resolute, no matter what you are seeing. And that's why I say, find someone you can talk to. So that when you are losing your mind and the society is trying to tell you all you should be, and your confidence is at stake, and they want your esteem is at stake, your worldview is at stake, your boldness is at stake, your sense of adventure is at stake. You see, between 2027, I made a mistake. 2088, I was owing everybody. I've told you the story. Everyone was looking for me. Anybody in uniform, police, Red Cross, Girls Brigade, Boy Scout, anybody in uniform was looking for me. I thought I was going to end it. It was crazy then. Well, we beat it. Look at where we are now. But that season was so tough. It took my sense of adventure. It took my confidence. I became unnecessarily humble. I wanted to just, I'm owing everybody. You know, it was a shame. It was an embarrassment. And for years, that defined, and I didn't even know. I wasn't moving anymore. I wasn't doing anything. I was just managing what was coming. I wasn't starting anything. I was just, whatever comes, I'll manage it. I'll keep it. I'll be faithful in it. But I wasn't initiating anything until I saw it. And I said, wow, this thing has given me a low self-esteem at a level. It has given me insecurity at a level. It has given me a victim mentality at a level. It has given me fear at a level. It has attacked my sense of urgency, my sense of thoroughness, and my sense of mission. Woo! So what do? I got to come out of this. I wrestled it, man. And what did I need to do? I started saying, no, I'm not taking that. No, I'm not taking that. Friends got angry, who could not tolerate my new freedom and my new confidence. There are people in your life who feel better in your smallness, who feel better in your lack of audacity, who feel better in your lack of adventure, in your lack of mission, in your, when you are doing, you are just moving in normalcy. They like it. They feel better that way. You resonate, you vibe. The moment you start saying no, your sense of audacity, your sense of mission is back, your energy, you want to move, you'll be shocked the type of enemies that will show up. As long as you play at their level, they are fine with you. The moment you want to cross to a different universe, they're going to resist you. Now, you don't need to look for those people. They will show up naturally. So forget about them. So I'm not telling you to start witch hunting and start saying, who is after me? Who is chasing me? My village people. Nonsense all day. Focus on your journey and keep moving, right? Once you start doing that, your what you are about will come to you. It will come to you. And what you bring to the world will come to you. Now I am clear. And guys, don't admire my clarity. Rather, admire the sacrifice that produced it, the endurance, the grit, the resolve, the ruggedity, the street capital that produced it, the losses, the pain, the tears that produced it. You have yours. They are your scars. Honor them. Don't be afraid of them. Don't let them intimidate you. You can't become a general without scars. So you can't see it now because you are just 22. You are 28. You are 34. Very soon, you are going to look back and say, wow, we got it. We got it, man. Right? Look at us now. Why are you all here tonight? I don't know where you are in the world. Why are you all here? How many people are here right now? Why are you all here? To listen to who? To a man who failed, who struggled. Why do you think my first book was a love affair with failure? It was deliberate. It was deliberate. My life is not definable without the struggles that came with it. I had to make that my first installment. Now I have about, as of last year, I was saying 4 books. Now I have 7 books. I'm writing at the same time. Crazy, crazy. Because this year I must publish 4. I must publish 4. Right. And the weight of the journey has defined me more than the outcome of the journey. The intensity, the process of the journey has defined me more than the rewards of the journey. Let me put it that way, right? And that is the grand stage of your life. Like I told you, many will never get out of that stage. Many people know me. They say, man, people close to me, they keep wondering. PK Summer, even those who attacked me, even those who judge me, they come back to say, man, I respect you. You just can't stop. I say, no, I can't stop. I just have to keep moving. I've made mistakes. I've embarrassed myself. I've done a lot of things. But hey, they will not judge me and they will not define me. I am unconscious of all of them against myself. I keep moving. I just keep moving. When you have time, open 1 Corinthians 4 and read it, the first 3 verses. And read it with understanding in different translations. Then you will see that nobody has a right to put a judgment on you outside your maker. Your confidence, nobody must take. You must keep moving strong. Down the line, you will thank me for this conversation. It's going to look like pride because when you are confident, it looks like pride. It's not pride. It's awareness of your uniqueness. It's not pride. It's not pride. See what I'm saying? Now, let me pretty much introduce you to somebody's trying to call me. So what you do in this phase, like I said to you, as people are throwing all kinds of things to you and you are pushing them off, focus on your evolution. I gave you that last week. Keep moving. Gift, you must become skill. Skill, you must become competence. Competence, you must become expertise. Expertise, you must become authority. That's it. That's your focus. You have no other. You have no other, guys. Stay on that. No other one. And keep moving. Judge yourself by it. Assess yourself by it. Every 90 days, pause. Go on a retreat. It doesn't have to be on a mountain or in one hotel. Stay in your house. Shut everybody down. Shut down WhatsApp. Shut down social media. Shut out everything. And take a pen and audit. Where am I? Every 90 days. What's on the horizon? What's going on in the world? How does it affect me? United States President Donald Trump is the new president. How does it affect me? What does it mean for me? What does it mean for my organization, for my business? What does it mean? US president means a lot for the whole world. It means a lot. So what does it mean for you? Immigration, what does it mean for you? Are you supposed to be in Jamaica? Are you sure you're not supposed to be doing something in London? Are you sure you're not supposed to be doing something in the United States right now? You got to think. You got to expand yourself. But the greatest gift you can do to yourself, with all this and I've said, get 1 or 2. You won't have more than 1. Bless you, have 2. Tops 3. People that are better than you, who have better helicopter view to guide you and who are comfortable with your decisiveness. They are not there to make you do what they want. Any mentor that fights you because you didn't do what they want is not a mentor, it's an oppressor. Mentoring is not to tell you what to do, is to support you in what you decide to do. With guidance, with resources, with network, whatever they have to support you, right? But even if you don't do what they want, they will still support you because they mentor you. So mentors should not try to reproduce themselves in other people. That's not mentoring. That's not even parenting. You don't reproduce yourself in people. You produce the people through you. You don't reproduce yourself in people. You produce people through you. That's what you do. Okay? So focus on that gift, talent. You are not enough. Become a skill. How do you become a skill? What's you? What's you? What represents you? Is there certification? Is there anything out there? Is there a course? Is there a documentary? What represents you? I don't know what it is. Is there a project? What represents you? Become a skill. Prove competence. Show competence. Show competence. You must show competence. You must show competence. Expertise. I've defined all of that in part 1. Authority. Keep moving like that. That's your building stage. Now, there are 3 things when you finally settle, when you begin to settle. Watch out for 3 things. 1, your message. Your message will form in this period. Your message will form. Right? Your message will form. Now, also forget, I want to check that my team is not trying to reach me. No, they are not. So, your message will form. Now, remember, as your message forms, your platform will build. Your message will form. Your platform will build. Your products will emerge. Your message will form. Everybody, you know my message. 80 million, period. Whether by faith or in any form, that's my, whether in the marketplace, anywhere, my message has formed. Everybody knows my message. Global, 80 million people, global, ideology, faith. Your message will form. Your message will change till it forms. Don't beat yourself when it changes. No. Do you know? Let me shock you. Do you know I can show you a diary if I go upstairs where I wrote the name of my church? In 1997, I wrote down church, Truth Work House. Truth Work House. Tape ministry. Where is tape now? They don't even have tape in the world again. I wrote tape ministry. You know, everything we're going to do as a church. I thought that we pastor. I had to elevate above that again. So things will change. Your message will change. But at some point, it will form and become timeless. Then you have a mission. Because mission is timeless. It will never change. No matter what is going on, it will never change. As your message forms, your platforms will be forming. Now, your platform must be changing. So if you notice, platform will keep changing. Because platform is a method. What are platforms? Conference, webinar, podcast, company, business. They're all platforms. They're all platforms. They're all platforms. It will be changing. Products, books, merchandising, t-shirt, whatever it is you produce. A product is some good or service that you offer to the world. And people exchange time, energy, and even resources for. Right? That is product. So as you are growing capacity, gift, competence, skill, competence, expertise, authority, as you are doing that, you are also, through your experiences, your struggles, the things you get right, the ones you get wrong, your message is forming, it's going to form. But the final thing, boom, is formed. You are clear. You are more, nobody needs to tell you. You don't need to tell me, PK, you are PK. I know I'm PK. When you are clear, nobody is the elimination of doubt. All your doubts are now doubted completely. That is the clarity where your message has formed. And then who you are has formed completely. It can happen to you at 25. Just because you are a billionaire doesn't mean it has formed. Just because you are a billionaire does not mean it has formed. Just because you run $1 trillion organization doesn't mean it has formed. But it will form. Like I said, some people will live and die in that phase. It doesn't mean they will be poor, depending on geography they grow up in. But also understand that the final expression at that level is the formation of who you are and what you are about, what you bring to this world. It will be represented by your message, your platforms, and your products. Right? Then finally, once you get that, then you become a king. Male or female, accept it. King is king. You become a king. You are a king. You are a queen. Okay, queen, kings and queens. You become a king and a queen. Now, when the king is now ready for the world, someone is trying to call me. When a king is now ready for the world, you know what you are doing? You are now communicating what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. Then you are producing more people, and you are creating. So I'm a king. I stand here in my royalty, speaking to kings and queens and letting you understand how your journey works. So all I have explained is all the depths of mastery, because I realized that I didn't spend enough time on mastery last week and I needed to take it to this level. Now, before I go, I want to give you another interpretation. Remember when I said you should be out of here ideally, but for human indiscipline, any money you need is either in your pocket or in your network. If you have not built that network, that money is in the hand of individuals. You must grow your community. You must be smart to grow community. Select your friendship, your associations by building your community. Don't just save people's number on your phone. Define their value. Know why they are in your life. Why they are in your life. Somebody called me the other day, was asking me for, support of 100,000. I gave him, but I told him, I said, let me tell you something. Look at me and look at me well. With all the value in this world that I can give, 100,000 naira is the lowest. If I'm money, is the lowest you can ask me. People who ask me for money, I look at them very well. I interpret them very well. Because I think your friends can give you that. You mean in this world, there's nobody in your life that can give you 100,000 naira, which is less than $100? You had to go find me in my scarcity to find me to get this 100,000. Man, you are poor. You are poor, my friend. Not because you don't have money, but because you don't have a network. You mean no friend of yours can give you 100,000 naira. You are the best among them. Or what? Your top circle should be better than you, bigger than you. And if you cannot network to that level where you are comfortable, accepted in a community where you are not the biggest, there's something wrong about your positioning. I told somebody I'm trying to hire 2 days ago, I said, you must be able to stay in front, stay behind, and stay in the middle at the same time to work with me. And those who work with me, they are on this team. There are people on this call who are watching me. I always tell them, you have to lead me. You just can't be, you want to stay behind me. No, you can't stay behind me. You must be able to stay behind, stay in front, and stay in the middle. In the middle between me and my projects, people I work with in the world, you are in the middle of them, clients, customers, recipients, you are in the middle of them. You are also behind me. You are also in front of me at the same time. You can't be that powerless that all you want to do is stay behind me. If you work for me, this is one of my nicest moments, I'm not this nice, because if you work for me, my demand is high. You can't tell me if you're working for me, you can't say, PK, so what do we do about this thing? I don't accept it. If you do it 2, 3 times, 4 times, you are going to get yourself fired. And I will tell you, everybody knows, because I make it clear. You don't ask me what to do. You tell me what to do. What you do is, PK, I think we should do 1, 2, 3. This is why I think we should do it. Bam, 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 bam. This is what we get when we do it. Bam, 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 bam. What do you think? So when you work for me, you have to reduce me to an editor. I'm an editor. I edit what you bring. I don't tell you what to do. If I have to tell you what to do, then I'm supervising you. You don't belong in my space. You belong somewhere else. You'll be great. They'll even pay you more there. But to be in my space, I don't tell you what to do. You tell me what you want to do. I edit it. So I'm always adding or deleting. I add, I look at it, take this out, add this, take this out. That way, first of all, I train you to stand in your own power. That's my training. That's all the training I have for you. I'm not going to sit down wasting my time talking to you all day. No, it is as you work. That's my training. Now, I tell you, if you lead people here, insist, nobody should ask you what to do. Tell them, you tell me what you want to do. If you can't tell me what you want to do, you don't belong on this job. You'll be fired. You must tell me what you want to do. Never forget this. If you have to lead people, if you have to hire people, or people are working with you right now, your war room, your lieutenants, tell them. Don't tell me what, don't come and ask me what to do. Tell me what to do. Then we are partners. Tell me what to do. Right? So, how else can I break that down for you? How else can I break that down for you? But I'm sure you get it. Now, that's when you are a king. And then at that level, you are manifesting, right? Allowing the future to stay in you. You are giving the future residency. That means you are accommodating dreams. Now, let me tell you something. Like I said to you, if anything you need, there's nothing you need that is not within your network. If it's not within your network, then you need to start building it. You need to start building it. The lack is proof of poor people network. There should be somebody who can show up. You can't believe some of the problems I have solved in the last 1 week, that if I'm going to depend on myself alone, I'll be stranded. I have people, and I keep having people. And now I get it even bigger. When people come to me to say they want to raise funds, I raise funds. I do all sorts of things for entrepreneurs, for founders. It's not in my pocket, not necessarily in my pocket, but it's in the pocket of my network. If it's not in my pocket, anything you need. So, so what you then need to do is develop a mentality that is always doing that. Your job, one job you have in life, one job you sure have, every human being, is the necessity to continue to elevate the quality and the character of your network. Everybody has that job, because anything God calls you to do, you are going to need that to do it. You're going to need that to do it. So let me zero in that from the time you are born to you are 25 is a phase I call mental development. Mental development. That is when you go to school. You can't go to school forever. You can't go to school forever. At some point, academics must end in your life. Education is perpetual. Academics has a lifespan. Education is a journey. Academics is a curriculum. It has to end. At max PhD, second PhD, it must end. Education is continuous. Academics has a lifespan. So get that straight. Stay in academics. Stay in education, but you have to end academics at some point. And I think that by the time you are 25, max, you have lost your right to make academics your top priority. You can't tell me you are going to start a master's program full-time at 27, at 26. No, I don't agree. You should do it part-time. You see, the moment you are 25, mental development academically must stop. Mental development, because mental development is academics, education, and observation. That's mental development. Academics is what you are taught by human beings and what is defined, learning what human beings have defined. Education is your ability to experience your world, question it deep enough to find the options that exist in it, and to know which of those options to embrace as a matter of supreme importance and urgency. So when you are educated, you can experience your world, you can question it deep enough to find all the options existing in it, and to know which of those options to embrace as a matter of supreme importance at any given time. That's when you are educated. So even with a PhD, if you cannot experience, question, bet options, and make decisions, you are not educated, even if you have a PhD. So, but education, therefore, is continuous. Observation is continuous. Academics must end because it's a human invention. It's not nature. And even nature must be disrupted. So you must move away from that at some point. Now, once you are 25, something else must start. Remember, till 25 is mental development. When you don't make money at 17, nobody's going to be angry. You are developing mentally. They understand. 18, they understand. 21, they still understand. 25, they will understand. But the moment you are getting to 26, they begin to ask you other questions. Where's your wife? Where's your husband? Where's your money? When are you going to take care of us? Pay bills, right? Because you are now in what I call social development. What's the first phase? Mental development. Second phase, social development. What does it mean to develop socially? What does it mean? Number one, regular income every 30 days. Regular income every 30 days. Number 2, building relationships that can serve your cause. And number 3, aligning family. Now, let me tell you, not 1, not 2. If one of them is happening in your life, you are not developing socially. If 2 are happening in your life, you are not developing socially. If the 3 are not happening at the same time, you are not developing socially. When you are developing socially, which is the next phase after mental development, then you must be making regular income. That means that once you are 25, you have lost your right to see 30 days without an income. You have lost it. You must see income regularly. Regularly, you must see income. So when you are developing socially, right, you must be making income every 30 days, consistent income. I don't care how much it is. I don't care if it's $1 or $1 million. You must be making money. What does that mean? You are producing something. Either you are producing it alone or with people or under people. You are producing and you are being rewarded for it. That's social development. And equal to that is you are building relationships that can serve your cause. And then you are thinking family. Let me give you a practical scenario of a true life story. Somebody came to me at 28, I think 28 or 27, I can't remember her age, but she came to me and said, "Sir, this is my age. I'm working, I'm making money, but I've always desired to wear NYSC uniform in Nigeria." NYSC uniform is what graduates do in Nigeria when they get their bachelor's degree. They go serve the country in a program called National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. You are there for 1 year before you then start to work. And if you don't do that, you can't do a lot with government. So you must do that for most people, right? And so she said she's always dreamt of herself wearing that uniform, but she has not been to college. She has not been to the university, so she must. Now she has gone to write exam and she has passed her examination. Now she has an admission to go start full-time as a 20-something year old in college, in the university, meaning that she's going to be in class with 16-year-olds and 17-year-olds and 15-year-olds and 19-year-olds. Those are going to be her classmates, right? So she wants to do that. So she was telling me, I said, "No, I don't think you should do that." She said, "Why?" I said, "I don't think you should do that." "Why?" "Because you are above 25. You can't stop earning money because it's going to stop our job." I said, "If you're going to do it with your job, then it's not full-time. It's still part-time. What makes it part-time is not what the school calls it. It's that you are making money extra. So as long as you are making money, you can go. But you say you're going to stop making money because you have saved money. You now want to go pay your school fees for 4 years and not be making money." I said, "No, you are reducing the clock of your journey by plugging into the energy of a younger generation and becoming a minority and a weak player in your own generation." I said, so you cannot go back and start full-time and stop making money. Whatever education you want to get now at 26, at 27, at 28, at 29, or whatever age after 25, whatever education you want to get has to be part-time. No education you want to go and get should take away your right to earn, your duty to earn, not even right, your duty to earn. Nothing should take that away from you. So I said, you can't do that. Then let's bring the 3 rules of social development. Income, you are going to break that. Relationships that can serve your cause. Are you going to marry these 16-year-olds you're going to be spending 8, 10, 11, 15 hours of your time with every day? Or you marry the lecturer? Because I don't get it. Who are you going to marry? Who are you going to, and then who are you going to deal with? All these students, are they the ones who are going to give you a business loan? Are they the ones that are going to help you to join a club? Are they the ones you're going to be rolling with? So your best friends are going to be 10 years younger than you, 8 years younger than you, 7 years younger than you. Those are the people you're going to be spending the bulk of your time with every day. Man, you have downgraded to a younger generation. You have left your own generation. Right. So you are judging yourself by the standard of a generation you are not. You can sit in the same room with them, but you don't have their body, and you don't have their mind, and you don't have their pressure. Your pressure is higher than theirs. You are going to malfunction. So what do you do, guy? Get an education. I don't care If you get that, go back to school if you want. I don't care, but you can't stop your job. If you stop your job, then start something. Get another job, a remote role. But you must be earning. So, 2, put yourself in an environment. If you go to adult school, or you go to a school where you are meeting people of your group, people at your level, right? Find that kind of school. Find a part-time school. Find some adult education school. Find, or whatever it is. But if you are going to go back to college and sit with teenagers, then keep your job, so that at least in your job, you are meeting people of your generation. You are building relationships, people better than you, people older than you. You are meeting all of them. Chances of meeting those kind of people as a C in college is lower. In college, people like that are a pond. They are found in a pond. There won't be many. In your office, they are like a sea. You are fishing in the sea. In college, you are fishing the same people in a pond. So you are making it difficult for yourself. So you are not developing socially because you are going to stop earning. You are going to go into an environment where you are not meeting people that can serve your journey, right, of your generation, and people older than you, smarter than you, richer than you. You are not meeting them. You are spending most of your time with people 10 years younger than you. Then you can't think family because you won't marry any one of them. So you are out. You are not developing socially anymore, even though you are now 32, 28. Help you get that practical example. Apply it. Judge yourself by it. Navigate yourself by it. That is how you keep pace. You must keep all of this going. You must keep all of this going, particularly in that identity phase. It's very key to analyze so that you are not falling off your generation. I told you one of our friends who fell off. You don't want to fall off. You just be listening to people giving you counsel that cannot lift you to where you deserve, because nobody gives you what you deserve. You're going to get what you negotiate in this life, and what you negotiate intentionally. And it is this type of mental weaponry that positions you for the power that you need to stand in your difference. Is what I'm saying. So moving on that, the next phase, the first is mental development. The second phase is social development. The third phase is missionary development. What does that mean? Where you are now applying everything you have to serve the cause of other people. You are serving the cause of other people, whether you are working for somebody in a company or you are volunteering, supporting somebody who is doing something great, but you are a missionary, meaning that you are standing with all your capacity that you have in that season to support somebody who is doing something else, right? So all of the three can be happening at the same time, because somebody that is 18 can be having all these experiences at the same time, the three together. So it's not like a continuum where you have to stop one to move to one. No, it can be happening to you at 22. But I'm saying worst case scenario, you must abandon this at some point and move to this at some point, and then move to missionary development. And that should be from age 25 max to around 30, 35, tops 40. Tops 40. But don't forget, they can start earlier. But the next phase is visionary development. And that, for me, in the clock that I understand, should begin to start from age 30 and above, 40, 45. By the time you are 40, 45, 50 plus, you should have settled into your visionary posture. What does that mean? You are now expressing yourself on legacy terms. It means the things you are doing now are going to define your entire history after you are gone. Whatever they are. Whatever they are. The things you are doing now, you are now thinking legacy. That's everything you are doing now. I'll give you an example. Even in investment, I believe there's something called legacy sensitive investments, and there is opportunity sensitive investments. I'll tell you the difference. You come to me now and say, PK, come and invest $100,000 in this business. I'll give you $200,000 back in 2 years. Take $100,000. I'll give you $200,000. That means 200. So I'll give you 300 in all. The 100,000 you gave me plus 200,000 extra, I'll give you in 2 years. That's an opportunity. Why? Because it's all cash, and cash is betting against inflation. Anything can happen to that money. It's cash. But if you tell me, so that's opportunity sensitive investment. That's an opportunity sensitive investment. But if you tell me, PK, give me $100,000, I'll give you 20% of my business, and then I'll put you on the board, and then I'll do this, I'll do that. That is a legacy sensitive investment, because cash, I can't will cash to my son. I don't want to do that. That's stupid. I'm not going to will cash, but I can will my share in that company, my board seat in that company. I can will it to my kids. So that's more legacy. Unlike cash will finish, we will spend it. But that is a system. First of all, it's not tied to me. I can audit it, right? Maybe it's even a company that even went public. So the chances that my son will meet that is higher than the cash you are giving me. Most likely, if you give me cash, I will spend it, right? So right now, I am more focused on legacy sensitive investments. I am not driven by opportunity sensitive investments anymore, because I'm now in visionary expression. Now, just like there's one after authority in that, competence peak that I showed you, there's also another one after visionary, but I won't bore you with it. There's no point. At the right time, you will hear it from me, because you don't need it. Achieve visionary first, and then come and talk. And then let's talk. Right. So that is it, guys. I hope I've helped you tonight. I hope I've really helped you. I'll take some questions. I hope we're able to figure out a way to take questions. Please don't miss the questions. There's more juice in questions. I can spend the next 30 minutes taking questions. So what do we have? Questions. Do we have questions? Let's go. Let's go, guys. Let's go. He mentioned the exceptions to that. If you are earning, okay. Questions. Who are we going with? Team, how are we regulating it? I hope you've been helped tonight. Let's stay true to the questions. Let's stay with the questions. What do I do if I've missed out on social development? Start. Start. You know what it is now, so go start it. Like I said, don't look back looking for where the doer of deed could have done better. Just look for new actions. So how do you earn? And what is the environment that consumes the most of your time? Are you spending it with people that can serve your cause? How do you do that? Joining a club, joining a community? Are you putting yourself in an environment? What do you do? Because that's where family comes from. And that's where you align family. So those three must be happening. So start. That's the answer to that. Question. Oh, Richard, I see you. I don't know if anybody can see Richard Keneki. He's going to speak at the Indaba. It's one of our speakers, right? It's one of our speakers. You got to find him. Find him on LinkedIn. He's more on LinkedIn. He's one of the most brightest minds in the world. And he's going to be speaking at the Indaba as well. So watch out for him. I can see him there. Dr. Cynthia Kunda Samwaka. I see you. I hope I pronounce your name well. Tosin Omoni. I see you. I know you and I see you. Yes. Anybody, please, sir, how do we build our execution power? Oh, come on, Google it. I always say it. I try not to say anything you can find on Google. See everything I've said here today. Can you Google it? You won't find most of it on Google if you find at all. So Google that. That is on Google. If you now have any question from your research, then come and ask me. Right? I'm going to launch my official mentoring, everybody. I'm launching my official mentoring at the Indaba, I think. So watch out for it so that you can have the freedom to engage me on these things. What do you think about the future of the creator economy in Africa? Oh, that is big, man. Who's that? Isa the Prince. Listen, the creator economy is going to get bigger in Africa because, as you know, we are still manual on many levels. So the creator economy, however, will be useless without technology. So as long as those creativity are authored in digital format, that is the future. That's the summary of it. I hope I helped you. As long as whatever creativity is going on there, the creator economy has a lot in it and is the bulk of what is going on with Gen Z, millennials, and Gen Alpha right now, pretty much. But if you are going to do anything there, make sure it is defined by technology. How do I build strategic network that is needed for my expansion? That's on Google as well. Go get it. Ted Plus, did I get your name? That's on Google. If one is in a country and you can't fully explore your potentials, and to migrate to a developed country is a challenge, is going back home, Nigeria, a good idea? That's a question I cannot answer without diagnosis. There are questions I would love to ask you before I can answer that question, because diagnosis precedes prescription, right? But you don't have to go back. And I don't believe you can be in any environment that is not answering to you, except you are ignorant of what it takes to explore in that environment. So every environment comes with natural nutrient. The poorest country in the world has millionaires there. There are millionaires in every country. There are billionaires in almost every country. So there's no poor country that doesn't have people that are successful, legitimately. So there's nutrient there. When do you know is the right time to move from employment to follow purpose? That's the wrong question. You should be following purpose even when you are in employment. You see, that is the wrong thinking we have been given. You are being made to believe that once you are in employment, it's a temporary wrong manifestation of yourself that you must accept in a season. Like it is wrong to work for someone. It's not wrong to work for someone. You can fulfill purpose working for someone. So also, this is also proof that you didn't start this conversation with us. So go back to the replay. At the beginning, I trashed this very well. So no point doing it again. I already trashed it. So go back to the beginning, get the replay, and take it again. Right. Can everybody hear me still? You said you were going to talk about real estate of the future. Can you please shed light on this? Come to the Indaba. I will do that. Favor ego. I will do that at the Indaba. I hope everybody has registered for the Indaba. We have over 715 people, or 1,000, over 1,000 people in all who has viewed this call. I hope you all have gone to the Indaba. I hope you've signed up for this. Go and apply for your free seat. Go and do it and put the city you are in there. It's going to happen live in Abuja and then live online for those who are not in Abuja. So make sure you are plugged in, right? That's where we're going to deal with a lot of the future of different industries: media, real estate, fashion, farming, a lot of things, healthcare, a lot of the technology as a whole. We're going to discuss a lot of future trends. I have some of the best people there. I have Vusi Tembakwayo. I have Fatima Ali Muhammad. I have Titi Oshodi. I have Cesar Bena, my partner in Paris. I have Richard Connect that I just spoke to you about, Banja Oshika. I have quite a lot of people, Taidi Kabasa, John Obidi, Gaze. Great people are all here. Great people in Aboyeji is here. I have, my friend in South Africa. You have to be here. You have to be here. You have to be here. Joyce Lewis. I see you, Joyce. How have you been, Joyce? Send me a message. It's been a while, Joyce. Send me a message. All right. Who? So please go do it tonight. As you are here on this call, once we go do it tonight, go register for the Indaba tonight. Secure your seat at feedbackfromthefuture.com. Feedbackfromthefuture.com. Go do it tonight. Feedbackfromthefuture.com. Tomorrow, I want to see everybody on this call as registered. When I ask tomorrow, how many people are registered? I want to see everybody here are registered. Make sure you go get on that. Make sure you register. Make sure you go register. Make sure you go register. All right. Let's go. Any other question? 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 How do you transfer the legacy investment mindset to the upper echelon? Yeah, come to the Indaba as well. But message me, send me a DM, either on LinkedIn or IG or somewhere. Send me a DM. I'll give you 1 or 2 insights on that, but make sure you are the Indaba. The more I listen to you, the more I see the gospel being laid out in modern format. Okay, I hear you. Thank you, Ike. Thank you, Ike. The link registration, sir. Just go to feedbackfromthefuture.com. Feedbackfromthefuture.com. Yeah. Lema K Ejimo4 says she has registered already. Fantastic. Make sure you register. I have applied, but yet to get the feedback. Okay, once you have applied, don't worry. They are doing the job. I'm sure you get the feedback. If you're on this call, we will pick it. We'll pick your energy. My people are picking. They are picking. So don't worry. You get the feedback. Hey, thank you, PK. I'm 38 and I'm finding it hard to find my path. I'm a multi-gifted and multi-talented and can do a lot of things, but I'm finding it so hard to take a path. What do I do? Come to the Indaba. Come to the Indaba and go and take this program again, part 1 and part 2. Take it again as a retreat. Talk to nobody, close down. Take it again. You will hear something. You will hear something. Follow the link. The link is there. The link is there. We just shared it on the comment section. Make sure you are in. You have applied also, Oluwatosin. Great. Any other question? When are you coming to the Southeast? That's your job. Put it together and I will come. If you can meet my protocol, it's a lot. So put it together. Send me a DM and say, I want to bring you to the Southeast and let's work on it. I'll give you all the criteria and you go make it happen. I'll be in the Southeast. I'm ready. So let's go. My mind has exploded. I'm happy. How do I build a community without having social proof? There's nothing like social proof. There's only relevance. When you set yourself on fire, the world will watch you burn. If everybody wait for social proof, then nobody will have started. Everybody started without any social proof. I didn't have any social proof. I've told you how I started. So there's nothing like that. You have not defined your honey so that ants can come and eat. They say where the carcass is, the eagles gather. You have not created the carcass for eagles to eat. When you set yourself on fire, the world will watch you burn, they say. You need to be a masquerade that the world want to see dance. You see, when people are not seeing you, your craft is not it's not magnetic enough. If you want to know the metals in the room, put a big magnet there. All the metals will show. You want to know the ants in the room, put a sugar there. All the ants will show up to meet the sugar where it is. Be sugar and the ants will find you. Be water and the world will drink you. Set yourself on fire and the world will watch you burn. Be that masquerade and they will watch you dance. I come from the western part of Nigeria. We have an idea called Eguntonjo. When you are that Egun, when you are that masquerade that is dancing well with your craft in place and your excellence and glide and move and drama, the world will watch you dance. There's nothing called social proof. Social proof is created by those who are moving. So start moving. I wasn't born with social proof. I created it. So you got to create it, man. So that's it. What role does talent play in deciding your future? I've answered that already. Go to part 1 and then take this replay at the beginning. I've dealt with that. Yes. Any other question? Victor, you can build a social proof by engaging in a community. Well, so just go build it. Sir, I'm building an incubator for African creators and I'm still dreaming up the business model. A call tried to call me. Let me reply the person. I'm building up, I'm bringing up, what does that person say? I'm dreaming up. Sorry, let me just reply to this person. So the question says, so I'm building an incubator for African creators, and I'm still dreaming up the business model. Can I reach out to you for some help or support? Of course, you can reach out to me, but I'm going to check who you are. I'm going to see your capacity, how old you are. I don't do free for everybody, right? It's deliberate because that's where I've helped people who have wasted my time. So I really have to know that you are serious. I'm going to get you to always commit something, time, energy, resources, right? But reach out to me, DM me. Let's see what we can do. I'll support you with the clarity you need. networks you need or whatever you need. But now don't stop that. We need more incubators for African creators. That is actually a major problem you are trying to solve. So don't stop. The universe supports you. So keep moving. Everything will come at you. All right. That's Issa the Prince. Issa the Prince. Get on that. That's very powerful. Very, very powerful. We need more of that. Yes. More questions, people. Augustine Wondo. All right. You are in. Perfect. Can Africa truly unlock abundance in AI era without designing its own semiconductor and microchips? Well, symposium discussion, but if we do that, it will be a major game changer. But can we? We can. We will collaborate. We will do a lot of things, and that is a good beginning. The clarity you have, let me say this to everybody. The clarity you have is not a release to ask questions. The clarity you have is a clue to your own engagement. So, my friend Lawrence Chiagozie, the universe is talking to you right now. God has permitted you to get galactic signals for you to begin to curate engagement in this platform. So let's talk more about that. But you are right. I hear you. But that should not keep us immobile. There's a lot we can do. And there's a lot that is happening, as a matter of fact. So let's go. You said there are billionaires in every country, but is that true? Take Europe, for example. Belgium has a few billionaires. Salaries and living standards are quite similar across the nation here. Just wondering, what do you think? Honestly, I'm even thinking of moving to Africa or somewhere else. Well, there are billionaires everywhere. There are millionaires everywhere. There's poverty everywhere. There are fools everywhere. There are wise people everywhere. There are prisoners everywhere. There's police in every country because there are criminals in every country. There are lawyers in every country because there are violators in every country. And we need enforcement. We need protection. We need justice. We need equity. We can go on and on. So geography is not the comfort of life. Value transported within geographies, beyond geographies, is the value of life. So my advice to you is you need to keep moving, because when you look at it, the biggest people in your country, I don't know what part of the world you are in, but the biggest people in America are not the ones doing business only in America. I tell Americans here, you have American passport. You can go to over 180 countries in the world without a visa. You are respected there. You are admired there. You have access to credit at home that you can do business globally. You have power of the currency, the most powerful currency in the whole world. You have an enabling environment. You have equal opportunities. You have all of what defines a first world country. How come you're going to live 80 years of your life without leaving America? Because the biggest Americans go around the world. They are not the ones who stay here. In fact, the biggest ideas in the world are not those who stay within the limits of their defined geography. Toyota is a Japanese product. It's not being sold to Japanese people alone. The whole world is buying it. Samsung is a Korean product. It's not sold to Koreans alone. The whole world is buying it. Apple is an American product. It's not sold to Americans alone. Google is an American product. It's not used by Americans alone. Facebook is an American product. It's not used by Americans alone. The biggest ideas in the world are those who transcend the limits of their defined local geography. So it's actually dutiful to continue to look. So it's not now. It's not because of a problem. Even if you are the most comfortable person in your country, you should still seek the possibility of engagement outside of your country and reach out to more people. How many people are in your country? Over 7 billion of them are outside of your country. You can reach out. You can do more. You should not reach out. You see, that's the challenge with Africans, because if you wait for pain to push you out of your country to go to another country, you'll be in the jail of survival. You see, that's it. But you have to move. Even if you are in comfort, movement should happen. Now, because you are moving does not mean you have to move your body to the country you are going. No, your ideas is what should be moving around the world, the movement of ideas. So Microsoft is Bill Gates. Bill Gates is still living in America, but Microsoft is everywhere in the world, right? So Elon Musk is still in the United States. In fact, he was in South Africa. He moved his ideas to the United States and he moved his body to follow. So at times, your idea need to move without your body. At times, your ideas need to move and your body will visit it and follow it from time to time and still return to base. That's Bill Gates, right? That's Bill Gates for you. That's Mark Zuckerberg for you. Your body will go and meet your idea wherever you push your ideas to in the world. And at times, your body needs to follow your idea and go and live with your idea in another country, like me. And as I'm in another country, right, and I'm moving my idea, I am still touching the world. What I change is my base, because what I'm doing, we have more acceptance moving from here than moving from home. I love home. I value home. I defend home. I protect home. I promote home. But home cannot give me the nutrient and the wings that I need to communicate my thought leadership like here can give me. And so I'm here. And I keep moving around the world. So it's movement of ideas that will require the body kissing it in different geography, or requires the body staying with it and still kissing the different geographies. Whichever way, you don't need pain to drive you to that. That is the character of ideation, and that is the character of scale. That is the character of delivering to your ultimate, right? So it's fine. You don't need discomfort to think about moving to Africa. You should move to Africa because it's 1 billion people ready to buy something. You see, 1 billion people ready to buy. What your dollars can do for you in Africa, your dollars cannot do it for you in the United States. So think opportunity, think markets, right? And make that movement. I hope that helped you, my brother. Right. So, but don't forget the movement of ideas. It's not just the movement of the body. The idea instructs how the body moves. The body should not precede the idea. You can't move the body and say, what should I do? That's stupid. Let your idea tell your body how to move. You see what I'm saying? It's the movement of idea before the movement of the body. Don't forget that. All right. We're saying something. I'm pretty young like you, but one of the ways I've learned to connect with high value people is by being a person of value, not necessarily monetarily. Wise. Stay true to that. Wise. Say less. If we could develop clothing that adapts to weather and body conditions in real time, changing insulation, waterproofing, and even style on demand, how will that transform the textile industry? It will disrupt it. Go for it. Go for it. If you can keep it as clothing, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, that's what I would say. Do your research and go for it. If enrolling full-time education grad students after 25 isn't a wise decision, how can one called into drug discovery rightly positioned to birth a solution? Discovery for global impact. I'm sorry, your question is not clear at all, Oge. Your question is not clear. I don't understand your question. Richard, good to see you. Connect with you. So I'm going to call you so that we can do our fine-tuning before the Indaba starts. Right. So who is coming again? Any question? When you say the future is Africa, do you see it positively, negatively, or as a mix? Positively, actually. Positively. A mix in a dimension, but positively for the most part. With our population, she provides services than goods, often remaining in a consumer role despite our expertise. Well, that's what we have to do, and that's what we are doing. We are going to change the African narrative by creating more producers. That's what we are doing on this call. So, yeah, I see it more positively, actually. I see it more positively. Any question I've missed? Any question I've missed? We get access to individuals at different levels and walks of life. How do we retain access, especially to high value people? What do we look out for to maintain the relationship? Well, come for the Indaba, stay in touch with me, sign up for my mentoring when it's announced. I'm trying to avoid all those things are on Google. That's why I'm avoiding it. All those things are on Google. So Google them. Thank you, Josima. Thank you. Keep downloading. Keep enjoying. Okay, I look forward to bringing you to Yola. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Okay, I think that as young people, we get across, we knew that, okay, I've trashed that. When you say the future, I've trashed that. I'm pretty young like you, I've trashed that. So if we develop clothing, I've trashed that. If enrolling full-time, trash, I don't understand. What are you doing differently since Donald Trump took power? I don't think that's a question for me. That's what I said, right? So um, I don't think you're asking me that question. Really? You think I'm going to say that here? Nah. So that was the question I'm putting to you. I have already registered for the Indaba. Well done, Balogun. Keep going. Yeah. I'm happy to join. A friend said I should come around and take notes, but I've gained value. Awesome. Keep the value. Keep the value, sis. How can a struggling writer position for impact and prosperity? Google that first. If you don't find answers, come to me. Those are very, wow. You know what I see every time I take events like this and I see questions? I see, man, people don't probe. You'll be stunned how much answers. These are not questions for me. These are very low resolution. They are on Google. If you Google these things, even ask your AI on your WhatsApp right there, you'll be stunned what you will find. Right? Probe. Probe more. Probe more. What will you advise with a drive for research and development, drug discovery after a BSc? Yeah, R&D is fantastic. R&D is fantastic, but you got to know how to position so that you can get access to funds, to grants, donors, and partners. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated with research. Ask Nigerian universities, African universities as a whole. So you got to position and address the real issues that the world wants to fund. You have to align your research with ideas the world wants to fund, and then think global because your biggest funding may be outside, right? So, yeah. Uh, Thank you. Tonight is a defining moment. The narrative will change. This was an indication to a journey of exceeding limited. Thank you. I really want to be live in Abuja. I'm in Kaduna. Nothing is stopping you. Jog down. Just jog down. Okay. I think we don't have any other question. Okay, private chat. Let me check my private chat. So people, let me see if anything is here. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. Okay, I think that we are done. We spoke of the 95 percent dark knowledge. Do you like a plea? Thank you for getting on YouTube, but do you have plans to reach the younger generation like teens and young adults in person? Yeah, I used to do a lot of that. If I have the right environment and I have the right organization, the right people putting it together, I'll consider that. Yes, I'll consider that. I do. I do. I have a plan on that. Um, I hear you, but you can talk more about that. Thank you so much for this insightful session. Basiri Jesse, I see you, Basiri. I saw your WhatsApp message. I've not checked it. I will check it later because of this call. I've not been able to check it. You spoke of I've spoken about father of visionaries. My question is like a plea. Thank you for getting on YouTube. But do you have, okay, I've responded to that. Yeah. Feisha Yomi. Yeah. Get in touch. Say more. Say less here. Say more to me privately. Please speak a little bit about BrainNet and how it can address intelligent vision analytics. BrainNet for me is the next level of the internet. It's the next level of the internet. But I'd rather have everybody Google that and learn more. But BrainNet for me is the next level of the internet. It will collapse many things, including education as we know it. It will collapse the test of recall as we know it. It's an incredible partnership for me between AI and biology, between the human brain and AI. Not singularity, even though I'm not against singularity at all, but before singularity, I think this is more easily more easily available. More easily available. More this will come to the human condition faster. This will come to the human condition faster than singularity. Even though singularity, in my view, is about 10 years away, max. I think we are going to get there. People say it's not so, but I think so. I really think so. So, but yeah, I think so. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? You may want to check Neuralink. Joshua, what's the name of the, let me see the guy that asked that question to talk about BrainNet. You may want to check what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink. Check not space, not Space Link, Neuralink. Check Neuralink. It's amazing what's going on there. It's amazing. So if you have time, everybody, just check what Elon is doing with Neuralink. Yeah, Lawrence Chiagoze. Yeah, Lawrence, please check Neuralink, and I'm sure you know about it already. That is a lot, right? That is a lot. That's a lot. So check that out. What is Africa missing? What do you say to this group of society whose space is shaped by the culture of the world? What should they be doing? I don't understand the question. Maybe you're talking to young people. You're talking about young people. I don't know what you're saying, but rephrase. When do you start to go global, and what's the first step? The first step is the right to go. After your idea is correct, you must get your idea right. You must have what you are taking to the world, because I said it's not the movement of the body, it's the movement of ideas. So is your idea recognizable in the world? Is it transferable in the world? Can it be seen, paid for, rewarded, moved around in the world? That is first the test you need to pass, at least on paper. You see how that test will be passed. What is the idea? Why should it go? How will it pass those three tests? Right? If it does, then you need to get the right to move. If you're an American, you have the right to move. Your passport doesn't need visa for over 180 countries, I think. Right? If you are British, the same thing. If you're from a first world country, Europe, North America, Canadian, French, Belgian, you can move a lot in the world, right? But if you are, as my boy encouraged me, but if you are a Nigerian or Ghanaian, there are many countries you cannot go without a visa. So you need to get yourself to beat the weight of a visa and the burden of a visa so that you can move freely in the world. And there are a lot of things you can do, including setting up your business in other countries, even the United States. And there's a lot you can do, right? So you can reach out to me for that. I can give you advice and help you. What is missing? What is missing? What is Africa missing moving into the future, and what can we do to position ourselves for growth and development, especially for young people in Africa? I think we just have the wrong narrative. I think changing the African narrative and rejecting the popular narrative about Africa will be a big victory for Africans trying to create and trying to do something. But we have the benefit of a young population that is getting younger every year, and that is powerful. And we have an incredible market internally, 1 billion people ready to buy. There's so much we can do in a lot of African countries as well, beyond just going to London or to New York or to Paris. There's a lot that can be done within Africa. So the richest black man in the world is Aliko Dangote. And Aliko Dangote is not making his money from Europe or from America. He's making it within Africa, because it's a big market as well. So yeah, there's a lot to do. But first of all, I think there are some basic things we have to defeat in Africa, and that is the narratives that have defined our history and the narratives that have defined us. We have to rise above those things. We have to respect ourselves and value our own contents more, and learn to author our content in digital format more, and engage the world, right? Engage the world. You know, Pan-Africanists want to avoid European things and American things. They want to avoid foreign things and use things that are local. I think it's wise, but I think is limited. I think real Pan-Africanism should take African ideas to the world. We want the white man eating amala and kenke and fufu. We want a white person, a Canadian, an American, a British, a French guy, a Belgian, right? And a Chinese, a Japanese wearing kenke, what's not kenke? Kenke, yeah. Eating cake. I'm mixing it up. Wearing ashoke, for example, or wearing African fashion, right? Not just the material, but also the style. Wearing African fashion and you wearing African designers, right? We want to export our food. Our music is moving. Afrobeat is moving. The South African genre, what's it called? Forgotten it now. It's also moving, right? And Afrobeat is moving big time, right? So, yeah, think about that. Just like that, our food needs to scale. Our fashion needs to scale, right? Our languages also need to scale, right? Our movies need to scale. A lot. So we need to think more instead of trying to avoid the world and use our own. Let us use what is in the world. Let us also make the world use our own. That's the real Pan-Africanism. When you wear Gucci, that's Pan-Europeanism. When you drive Tesla, that is Pan-Americanism. So make something that the world can drive, the world can wear, the world can sing, the world can eat, the world can wear, the world can use. That's Pan-Africanism for me. Pan-Africanism is not wearing what is African by Africans. No, we want to take what is African to the world, used by the world by Africans, used by the world from Africans, because we are using what is from the world from Europe. So we don't want for us by us. We want by us for the world. By us for the world. Not by us for us or for us by us. Fubo. No. We don't want Fubo. We want food by. From us to the world. By us for the world. That's what you want. That's the real Pan-Africanism. I hope you get that. I hope you get that. Yeah. I see people struggle more with meaning than AI. Do you think that's accurate? How can we fix that? What's a framework for meaning? Well, we have to fix meaning. I agree. And meaning is understanding your humanity and aligning with your sense of wonder. That is meaning. That is meaning. And not just your own humanity, but humanity as a whole. Understanding and respecting the contents that define our human exchange, and honoring your sense of wonder, remaining a child. In short, not being childish but being childlike. Yeah, that's meaning. Meaning is not purpose. Meaning is an ingredient for well-oiled purpose. It's an ingredient in purpose, but they are two different things, right? You can have a meaningful and purposeless life. So let's be clear. And you can have a purposeful and meaningless life. Let's be clear. And you can have a meaningful and purposeful life. Yeah. I hope you get that. AI has come to stay. We need AI. There's nothing wrong with AI. AI is like gun. There's nothing wrong with guns. Guns can kill and give us food. And gun can do evil and kill children. The difference is not the gun. It's the human being on the gun. AI has come to stay. It's beautiful. We need it. The human beings who will manage it and how we create the experience for human beings, that's what we need to adjust. And that is not the AI factor. That's a human factor. Right. So, yes, Lemake Jim for how is New York today? I hope it's not too cold. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Let's find ourselves on. You guys reach out. Let's see you on LinkedIn, DM me on IG, on X. I'm from Facebook. Let's see. I don't spend too much time on Facebook. I'm sure you know already. So people have messaged me since 2012 on Facebook. I responded yesterday. I'm not a Facebook guy. I'm more X a little bit. I'm more IG and LinkedIn. So let's go there. Shegun Adeniji just registered. Amen. Stay there. What are the three most important things you want to say to an inspiring thought leader? The three most important things I want to say to an inspiring thought leader. Well, listen to part 1 and part 2 as a thought leader. That's the one most important thing. Second most important thing, listen to part 1 and part 2 of necessary nimbleness. Third most important thing, remind yourself that you have to listen to part 1 and 2 of necessary nimbleness again. Those are the three things I want to say to an aspiring thought leader. All right. Make the Indaba, Joshua Olaoluwakinton Makinde, make the Indaba. All right. We'll talk more after that. Yeah, for the person talking about teens and younger generation, he has impacted us and now indirectly sending us to them. Perfect. Go AJ. Go AJ. I hear you. Thank you very much, sir. We love you. I love you too. I have a proposal to that, sir. Let's go. Meet me up on my DM. When do you start to go global and what's the first step? I'll answer that. Just register. Just register. Great. We'll look at it. LinkedIn user. We didn't see your name, LinkedIn user. Victor Olaiton Oyefeso. Hey, Victor, how you doing? Do you have a mentor, sir? And what books do you read? Oh, come on, Victor. You're following me all these years. You can't answer this question. I'm not going to answer it. I won't answer it, Victor. Victor, I know you very well. You followed me all these years. You want me to answer this question for you now? No. No, I'm not answering it. You should know the answer by now. John Paul, and I mean it. John Paul Omokwa. Move not physically. Yes, sir. The history we thought started from the colonial era. True, but it's not an excuse to keep us where we are. Beat it. We have to beat that. The ancient Egyptian civilization is where most Nigerian tribes claim to have drawn their ancestry from. How come we did not display a semblance of technologies from there in our Nigerian cultures? Well, that's not for me to bother myself about. Sir, is it possible to think big and start big, or is it starting small a necessity? You can think big and start big if you have big instruments to start with. You have big people and big tools to start with. If you don't, you have to start small. How do we talk for the long without getting tired? If you have something to say and you are fit. If you have something to say and you are fit, you can talk long, but talking long is not a testimony. It's making sense that is a testimony, right? So people are not staying here for this long because I'm talking. They are staying here because I'm making sense. You see what I'm saying? I attended your program in Zambia and I've never been the same. Yes, Cynthia, Dr. Cynthia, great. Stay in touch. Buzz me one-on-one. All right. In North America, is credit score. In North America, is credit score important? Credit score is critical in North America. Critical. Kente, yes. Kente, yeah. Kente. That's it, Tosin. Thank you for what you are doing, sir. Kikiowo, yeah. PK, how do you talk for long without getting tired? Fitness and sense. Kente Ghanaian attire, correct. Pan-Africanism is about taking Africa to the world. Yes, Tosin. Thank you. All right. I don't think anybody's asking any question. Do you think the innovation gap and being late to the party are disadvantages for Africa in the AI space? I don't think so. Africa should stop trying to say we want to be superpowers. As long as we want to exist, like Switzerland. See, all these Scandinavian countries, you know why they are allowed to prosper so much? Part of it is because they're not trying to be the superpower in the world. They just want, some of these countries have a bigger economy. Luxembourg has not a bigger economy. They have a more prosperous people per capita income than the United States of America. Almost everybody is prosperous there. Almost zero poverty. Think about it. Because they're not trying to build the biggest army. They're not trying to take anybody into the party. They don't have any point to prove. I don't support reparations. What about that? And if you want to take me on, I will defend myself. I don't support reparations. We are not the only continent that has been enslaved. White people have been enslaved as well. People have been enslaved all over the world. In fact, white people were enslaved in Morocco, in North Africa, rather. Yes. So we are not the first to be enslaved. If we are going to do reparations, that means we are going to move. It will be the biggest movement of the world's wealth, because almost regions, the only region in the world that is not experiencing slavery is Europe. Europeans have been enslaved, but not in Europe. Every other region in the world has experienced slavery, right? America was colonized. America was once a colony of the British Empire. So, come on. I'm not minimizing our pain and our struggle. I am saying I don't believe in reparations. I believe in a different type of advancement, not the one through reparations, right? So, we can debate this forever, but it's not what I like to get into. I don't have time for anything that doesn't add up to taking new action. I don't have time for it. So, what's the place of children's services in the future? Oh, permanent. We always have kids and they always need nurture. But you have AI babysitters. Robots will be competing You have babysitters that will be robots. You have caregivers that will be robots. It's going to happen. Not maybe by 2030. By 2030 here, you have pets. You have a dog in your house that is a robot. You are going to have pets as robots. You're going to have pets as your cook, as your house manager, as your maid, as your um caregiver for your kids. You're going to have that. So that's part of the future. So think about that. How do we get our African population to patronize ourselves, even if we export our Pan-Africanism? Branding. That's branding and storytelling. It's like when people tell me I can't raise funds. I say there's nothing like you can't raise funds. You are telling your stories poorly. If you tell your stories better, you raise funds. So that's about storytelling. All right, no question. Just love how fierce and practical you are. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for such a trade. Awesome. Thank you, Wala Ashemota. Thank you. Ashemota, that's from Ghana, I guess. All right, guys, it's time to call it quit. I love you all. See you from Friday. The Friday session is online. The Saturday session is physical, in person, and online. The Sunday session is offline but private to those who paid that big fee, that sponsor, those who did that big sponsorship. Monday is also online. Great sessions on Monday online. That is 24th, 23rd, 22nd, right? I think we start from Friday. Was it Saturday? Well, the physical session for everybody is on Saturday. It's going to be long hours on Saturday, right? So that's it. Don't forget, go register now. Right now, go and register. Right now. How do I balance decisiveness with making the right decisions? No. I've answered that, Akinwumi. I've answered that. Go back to the session again. Listen again and listen again. You will get it. When are we having a sequel to A Love Affair with Failure? Soon. We're coming. We are failing more. We need to fail more to add to the testimonies of failure, of failing, right? It's coming. How can I get your books? DM me. I'll answer that question. I'll give you a connection to do that. Is it possible to get into tech now and become an authority in the field, knowing that your competitors are tech gurus and even AI? Yeah. It doesn't matter when you start. You can lead anybody at any time. All right. Don't forget, don't work with reality. Work with your own Kairos time, bended time. Stay in two types of time, bended time and deep time. If you stay there, you can overtake anybody. So stay there. But don't work trying to overtake people. Just be yourself and do you, right? Your own rules will serve your own journey. It's as simple as that. All right. Back-end people, Great Darling, Emmanuel, Wisdom, Lean, IBK. Thank you for suffering till this time. Thank you all for your efforts at the back end. Please help me just do a clap for the people at the back end who are doing this work. They are on in different parts and they are making this happen. So just help me say thank you, team. Thank you, team. Thank you, team. Opayemi Fields Adekoya, I see you. Say thank you, team. Help me say thank you, team. Thank you, team. Just help me thank the team. Just clap for the team. Say great team. Thank you for your work, the excellence, the way they put out our questions, the way they organize the whole thing. See the way they responded to our problem on IG. Thank God for YouTube. What if we were just doing IG? We'll have been stuck. They just said, move everybody to YouTube and let's move from there. And we had a great time, didn't we? So, yeah. Did I see something about graphics? Is graphic design an industry to get out from? I can tell you for free. Graphics is not a power in the future. AI will do so much of that. It won't take it away. No industry will vanish. It's just like human role in a lot of industries will reduce. Human touch will reduce mightily, including design. PowerPoint is dead. Oh, I hope you know that already. AI is defeating it. So think about it. Yeah, design will suffer. Design will suffer. Don't drop your capacity to design. Just add more skills, because design thinking, you see, the mind that designs is useful in interpreting. I'm a designer, but I don't use CorelDRAW, I don't use Photoshop, I don't use all of those things. But I have a mind for design. I've taken a course in color science before. I've taken a course in space management, white space management before. So when you are designing for me, I know what I want. Ask my designers, they know. I know what I want, and they don't feel bad because they know we are two experts. The difference is they use the tool, I don't use the tool, but we have the same mind. So we can brainstorm. So my designers, they bring ideas, I bring mine. We contribute, we meet together, right? So if you know how to, I can draw very well physically. If you give me a pen and a paper, I will draw you. You won't even believe it. But drawing is not my gift. I'll come and explain that one day. I've explained that before in some other sessions, right? The real gift, you see, drawing represents the real gift. It's like a logo representing a deeper gift. The deeper gift is the ability to hold complex models in your head, and to translate them to tangibility. That's the real gift. Now, that gift is what an artist uses. He sees before he creates, before he draws. A surgeon, the same thing. Interior decorator, the same thing. A barber, a stylist, the same thing. Fashion designer, the same thing. Script writer, the same thing. Movie director, the same thing. Graphic designer, the same thing. That gift, now somebody can fool you and say you are an artist. It doesn't mean speaker. A great speaker is with that gift, because when you are a great speaker, you see what you say. So it's art before it's science. See what I'm saying? So you see, you are translating intangibility to tangibility. You are able to hold complexity in your mind and then translate it with words. So a lot of skills in the world are within that gift alone, the gift of holding complex models in your head and translating it, right? But that does not mean you're going to be an artist. That could be because you're going to be a movie director. As a movie director, you need that. As a fashion designer, you need that. As an hairstylist, you need that. As an interior decorator, you need that. Many things, many expressions. So, yeah. All right, people. Take me out. Take me out. Blessings. Love you all. 3 hours, 22 minutes. We are going to edit this. We just can't put this out. There's so many parts of this we have to cut out, please. All those places we're wondering, IG at the beginning, you have to, so that it can be a compact message for people who are not like us, right? Some people are coming from other countries. They don't have time to be watching all of that. And it's not excellent. So our team will clean it up. So you need to give them some time. They probably will put it up and be editing it from the back as soon as it's ready. Within a few days, they put it back up, right? So go for it. Thank you and have a beautiful night. Love you all. I'll just mention some names I see here: Tommy, Lawrence, Sonia, Opuere, Sonia, Oyebode, Lawrence, Elijah, Tepios, Okpeyemi, Fields, Vincent, Chioma, Precious, Tresh. Yeah, enough. Mind to the world. You have asked very intelligent questions. But I know that's not your name though, but I see you. Mind to the world. Oluwatosin, God bless you. All right, stream ends now. Team, can I go? Let me see if there's any message for me. Can I go? Okay. Okay, I think I can go now. So on Saturday, we have the live session for the Indaba. You can't miss any of the online sessions. If you so pay for it, because your online sessions are not free. But the physical session, which is going to be a power session on Saturday, almost the whole day, you can't miss that. Make sure you register and get ready, right? Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. Make sure you take the first and second session of this again, but use it to get yourself ready for the Indaba. Get yourself ready for the Indaba. Go and register everybody you know. Your teenagers, register them. Your kids, go and apply for them. Your wife, your husband, right? Go and apply for them. Get everybody in. If you are in Abuja, go and rent a car and gather everybody. Make sure they go and apply. Once you are all approved, gather everybody, drive them there. Don't drive to the event alone. Pick 6 people on your street and say, guys, follow me to this place and see what's going to happen to you. Make noise, post these things, get the flyer, post it on your pages, make some noise, right? Get everybody you know there. Don't lift yourself alone, lift everybody with you. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. All right. Okay. Bye. Love. Bye. 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 Bye.